mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their time to save lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
The Wendy's restaurant in your area has issued a major bag alert.
Major bag alert.
The bacon double stack is back in the biggie bag with fries, nugs, and a drink, all for just $5. The following are to be expected: joy, disbelief, inability to think about anything else. This deal is effective immediately, and it's only at Wendy's.
Major bag alert. Bag alert. Major
Biggie bag includes 4-piece nuggets, small fry, and small drink. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's opponents on Man vs. Train. At the crossing, we have Rick, a 175-pound frustrated man who's running late for work. And on the tracks, we have Bull, a million-pound freight train that takes a mile to stop. Let's see who comes out on top.
You can't beat a train, so don't try. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
At Panera, dinner is hot and ready to serve. Bring home Panera's cheesy flatbread pizzas, toasty sandwiches, or creamy mac and cheese with delivery or pickup. Availability and pricing may vary.
Wherever you listen to podcasts.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. I hope everyone has had a great weekend for one, and had a great rainy Monday. We got spoiled with that 70-degree stuff for a little bit. This is kind of more like that spring stuff you should be anticipating. But how was your weekend? I told everyone to give you a shout-out for your birthday.
Yes. Shouts out to everybody.
Well, no, I forgot to give you a shout-out on your actual birthday. So I just say, I told everyone else, make sure you give Kev a shout-out on his birthday. And then, what are friends for?
Yeah, man. Great time for my birthday. Shouts out to my wife. Normally I'm like, I don't really like to celebrate. Well, I do like to celebrate my birthday, but I don't like to make like a big deal of it. But she made sure we made a big deal of it.
Really? You went around to everyone at the office, hey, it's my birthday this weekend, right? But no, you're right. You don't. No,
cash at me. No, we went bowling. We went up to the Cheesecake Factory for dinner and everything like that. She let me be lazy part of the weekend and watch movies that I wanted to watch and things of that nature. Replying to everybody, hit me up on text and on the DMs on Twitter and Instagram saying thanks for the birthday love and everything like that. Good birthday weekend, man. Got a haircut finally. That was almost a highlight. I had a haircut since December, man. I was being lazy, man, but got a haircut. Lots of hanging out with family and friends. Good times.
I just wear a hat. So a lot to get into here today. So on Friday, we got to catch up with Jay Morrison. Covers the Cincinnati Bengals for The Athletic, and we got to talk about the Bengals news last week, of course, of announcing the Ring of Honor that, for this upcoming season. Paul Brown and Anthony Munoz, the first two names. Of course, season ticket holders will get to vote on the next two. We got to talk about that and his thoughts on, is 4 enough? Should there be more? The fan vote idea. Was that a good, bad idea? Really good stuff. So for those of you that missed that interview, you can, of course, catch it at wingam.com. But we're going to have a little bit of that coming up here around the corner just to dive into some of that stuff. Again, the draft just coming up on the 29th. I mean, we're just a few weeks away from that. And, all of the stuff that's out there, how much of it is smoke screen, how much of it is just reporters reporting on what their gut tells them, and how much of it is actual being released from the Bengals. I always say this when it comes to this, because Cincinnati right now, like I keep getting in these heated debates on social media. I know doesn't sound like me. About should the Bengals take a wide receiver? Should they take the tight end? Should they take the offensive lineman? Of course, you take the offensive line. So I'm getting into heated debates about how dumb the Bengals would be if they don't take an offensive lineman. But yet, is there anything out there that the Bengals have put out there that they are interested in not taking an offensive lineman? We're just assuming that Kyle Pitts, who is the best tight end in football or in the draft coming up, is all of a sudden going to go number 5. We're just assuming that because Joe Burrow really likes Jamar Chase, that's why they're going to take Jamar Chase. I think that I'm being too hard on the Bengals. I think that I'm considering giving them the benefit of the doubt. I've been a little bit too aggressive on my Facebook and Twitter posts today about how dumb and silly that the Bengals are. Why would you take the wide receiver? Why would you take the tight end? The thing is, there's nothing out there that have hinted that they're not going to take the offensive lineman. Right. There's not one report out there that, Mike Brown doesn't really like Penei Sewell. I'm falling into the speculation trap, and I think a lot of fans do that. But I need to go back and retrack everything because I don't think that there's been one report that the Bengals are considering taking Jamar Chase. I think it's just as simple as there's certain reporters who believe that the Bengals should go Jamar Chase. There are reporters who believe that they should go Kyle Pitts. And then there's the common sense folk like me and most Bengals fans, or should say some Bengals fans, that believe they need to go get the number 1. If the best player at the number 1 need that you have is offensive lineman and they fall to you at number 5, you cannot pass up on him. And I don't want to hear about offensive linemen in later rounds. You don't take the lesser talented offensive lineman in the later rounds to take a wide receiver at number 5. You just don't do that. I don't care. Well, some of the guys that are dropping into the second, third round, they're getting starter grades. I'm like, well, again, you want me to trust the Bengals, decision making on what a starter is? They're the same ones that paid Bobby Hart to be a starter and paid him good money. I don't care what the starting grade is for the second and third rounds. The bottom line is, Kev, all of a sudden now Bengals fans are not valuing a first round pick. No one has ever tanked to get second, third, and fourth round picks, Kev. Now, those are nice cherry on top picks of what if you have in the first, but no one trades up to get, or no one tanks to get third and fourth and fifth round picks. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to hear, like someone today said, well, got to keep in mind, Kenner, there's 7 rounds. I don't care if there's 7 rounds. With all due respect, the 4, 5, and 6, yes, there's going to be the outlier names of, well, these guys hit here. There are select. I know we've talked about the draft and stuff, and I've said before, I think it's all luck. I think it's luck for 90% of the league. I think there's only a handful of teams that actually know what the hell that they're doing. And there's a reason that those teams are the best almost every single year. And even on down years, they're 9-7. Like that, those teams, like the Seahawks, like the Patriots, the Niners have really turned their front office around over the last 5 or 6 years to where last year's a down year. They're picking in the top. Well, now they traded up, but they're, picking high in the draft, but that's because of injuries. But these teams with good front offices, they're hitting on late round guys. Right. And that's only a handful of those teams. So the Bengals are not one of them. That was my whole point is, yes, you could get talent late in rounds. For some teams, if I'm the Seahawks and I need an offensive lineman, but there's a good wide receiver there, I'm going to take the receiver. I trust that we can get a good offensive lineman or 2 in the later rounds. If I'm a Seahawks fan, I trust that my organization can do that. If you're a Bengals fan, you sound stupid if you actually think that your organization knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to drafting draft picks. They don't even know how to draft guys in the first round, much less the second, third, and fourth round. So excuse me if I'm a little, skeptical about their ability to be able to pinpoint who the good graded offensive linemen are in the second, third, and fourth round. If the number one need you have is offensive lineman, and the number one offensive lineman is there, I don't even get why this is up for debate. I am going to say this one more time before I hand it off to you. I'm not 100% sure that the Bengals have even come out and said that they're even thinking about not taking Sewell. Maybe, just maybe, I'm painting them to be dumber than they are by falling into the trap that these reporters are throwing out there of, well, I don't know. I think the Bengals should take Jamar Chase. I don't know. I think the Bengals should take Kyle Pitts. Until I actually see that Mike Brown or Duke Tobin has totally ruled out or that has totally said they do not want an offensive lineman, I just need to calm down. I have a hard time believing that even an organization as bad as Cincinnati can pass on Penei Sewell when that's the number one need that they have. Well, they need a wide receiver. That's super. They don't need a wide receiver. They want a wide receiver. You need an offensive lineman. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, you have receivers. You need an offensive line.
The catch-22 with the Bengals is they have drafted offensive lineman in the first round with Jonah Williams, but he's consistently hurt. You did Billy Price. He hasn't panned out in the NFL. So it's almost like a what do you do situation if you're a Bengals fan, because they can point to those guys and say, well, we tried to get offensive linemen in the first round. That didn't work either. Yep. We tried to get offensive linemen in the later rounds. That didn't work either. Man, give me somebody that can catch the ball and score touchdowns. If they're making that argument, they got a point to stand on. But for everybody out there, man, there's basically 2 tackles that are highly rated in the draft. Penny Swell and the kid from Northwestern.
The Slater kid.
Slater, yes. Those 2 guys are, neck and neck at the top of the draft for tackle. In my eyes, if I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I want one of them. Whoever it's going to be. If somebody else go up there and get the kid from Oregon before we can, fine, take Slater. Get one of them. And because you got to keep throwing talent at the problem, not bodies at the problem, talent. First round talent at the problem. If you draft enough first round talent players, eventually somebody's going to pan out. That's my thought process.
And that was the Browns process for a quarterback for 20 years. And look, it worked, right? Eventually, if you draft enough, quarterbacks in the first round, one of them is going to pick, stick, right? Like that's kind of where we're at. But it is what it is. At this point, the reason I bring this up is because Mike Clay, he's with ESPN, covers the NFL. He tweeted this out earlier today, which started this conversation, Kev, about he says, if you're wondering why the Bengals, who have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, could draft a wide receiver at number 5, keep in mind that they had a 3rd wide receiver on the field on 82% of their offensive plays in 2020, which is the 2nd highest in the NFL. As the roster stands, Auden Tate would be a de facto starter. Well, let's be clear here. That's super. And I said, and I even tweeted out, that's a good reason to draft a wide receiver. It is not a good reason to draft a receiver at number 5. So, that's why I said that doesn't warrant taking a receiver at number 5. Your number 1 need is offensive lineman. You don't take a less talented offensive lineman in the later draft rounds to take a wide receiver of all things at 5. And on top of that, that goes back to the Bengals. If this is as big as need as what they are saying it is, then maybe they should have prioritized that better with their cap space and their free agent signings, because they put all their money on defense, which, yes, they needed to touch up as well. But this is about offense. You can win in the league with an average defense. The Browns made the playoffs and won a playoff game with a very average to below average defense. Okay. The Bengals, they didn't need to it's fine that they approach the defense this way, but just because you've now limited where you can go in the draft and free agency because you used all your money elsewhere, it doesn't mean that Joe Burrow should pay by getting him a wide receiver that he may not even be standing up long enough to throw to begin with. That's where this all comes down to. So that's why I'm bringing this topic up again. And this topic is going to continue not just on this show, but across all shows. Even in Cincinnati, they're talking about Joe Burrow, offensive lineman, every day, because that's where this is really coming down to. I just think that Bengals fans have convinced themselves, oh, he's a nice guy. He says he's sorry. He loves me. He says he loves me. He says he won't do it again. The Bengals love me. They say they're going to protect Joe Burrow. They promise he's not going to get hurt again. They promise. And and instead of actually changing, they just buy you a nice little shiny toy like a ring, like Jamar Chase, and then they go back on and carrying on as usual with your quarterback getting destroyed. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan at all. But with Mike Clay doing what, saying what he said there, that's a good reason to draft Jamar Chase. If you're picking number 11, if you're picking number 12, but you have the number 5 pick, you don't select a wide receiver at number 5 when you have so many other holes that you need to address. That's all.
I was looking at this tweet that came out from the NFL Network, if I can find it real quick. It was talking about the wide receivers drafted in the 2019 draft. So they got guys up there, obviously DK Metcalf. Who else was drafted in 2019? Miko Hardman, Deontay Johnson, guys of that nature. So the guys that are coming out now in the 2021 draft, do we know if these guys are going to be better than that crop? You got AJ Brown with the Titans and everything like that. You got some big time wide receivers to go in the first 2 rounds. So, and a lot of these guys that are the quote unquote best of the 2019 draft class were 2nd round picks. And then you got T. Higgins. You drafted him in the 2nd round last year, and he was
considered a first round grade, first round talent.
So for me, I would roll the dice and go ahead and get the offensive lineman and get a wide receiver in the 2nd round, 2nd or 3rd round, because you know how I think. If you draft somebody in the first 2 rounds they should be a starter. They should be out there day one of your best 22 players on the field. So there's definitely a ton of guys out there at the wide receiver position that you can go out there and draft. And especially that you just talked about, the Bengals basically run 3 wide receivers all the time. So, yeah, you need to have 3 wide receivers that can make plays not only across the middle and make tough catches, but be that deep threat, be the guy to stretch the field and everything like that. You know, they tried to have A.J. Green, but be that deep threat that he once was early in his career, but him and Joe Burrow never got that connection going. So you can get somebody in the second round. There's a ton of guys out there, man. I say go for the position that you're in most need of with a guy with a first round grade and take care of that and take care of Joe Burrow. Worry about getting a receiver in the second round. I mean, shoot, what's the other guy at LSU that's potentially going to be at the back half of the first round?
I forgot his name, but yeah, well, right now it's him, and I mean, there's all the Alabama wide receivers, of course, between Jalen Waddle and others. There's a good group of those guys. There's 2 LSU, 3 Alabama wide receivers that could all easily go in the first round, and they're going to drop into the second. Right. So you could still get that wide receiver you're looking for in the second. You can get the kid from Purdue, and more. Like he's fantastic as well. I just. Like I said, and by the way, if they end up taking, and I said this last week, Kyle Pitts over Penei Sewell, I would be mad that they didn't take Penei Sewell. But if you're going to take Kyle Pitts, it's because they're saying he could easily be a top 5 tight end in football right now. He would be a top 5 tight end in football right now, based on everything you read and hear about him. Top 5 tight end in football right now. So, and then there's Jamar Chase, who is just one of many good receivers in this draft, and you're only drafting him because Joe Burrow wants. This goes back to my topic last week of you can't let a 22-year-old run a football team. And what I mean is you can't do. Of course, he's going to say, "Well, I want my friend." By the way, many of us in our business fall into that trap of we hire our friends instead of hiring who's best for the job, and then it usually doesn't always work out. Right. You got to hire someone that you know you're going to be taking a chance on because they're what's best for the job, as opposed to, well, I just like hanging out with them every day. How many of us do that every day in our lives? You know, we always call the good boy network. You know, that's what we talk about in the NFL and others, where we just hire who we're comfortable with. We hire who is going to make people around us happy. Instead of, there's a lot of super talented people, whether it be in the draft, whether it be in free agency, whether it be in coaching, whether it be in our little media circles here, who we don't hire the best people half the time. That's how I got hired. We just hire what's convenient. And the Bengals getting Jamar Chase is convenient because, he's played with Joe Burrow. We know that they could play well together. I don't care about that. There's a lot of receivers. If Joe Burrow's as good as you say, he can play with any wide receiver. Get him another receiver late in the draft. That's all. But again, all this got started from a tweet earlier today that I just read again from Mike Clay with ESPN, trying to defend the Bengals, the rumors of the Bengals taking Jamar Chase at number 5, talking about, they run a lot of 3 receiver sets, and last year they had 3 receivers on the field 82% of the time, and that Auden Tate would be their de facto wide receiver, and that's why they need a big guy, a big name like Jamar Chase, and to spread the field. They don't have a speed guy to beat you down the field. Well, here's the other thing, Kev. What's the big knock against Joe Burrow? He can't throw the ball deep. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have, is it because did he not throw the ball deep last year very well, Kev, because he didn't have an elite wide receiver to go down the field? Or is it because, he overthrew a lot of guys? There was a video package I shared about a month or two ago of him overthrow. It was just like a little video montage about 20 seconds long of about like 7 or 8 overthrows that Joe Burrow made. Plenty of time in the pocket, not rushing throws, stepping up in the pocket, throwing a deep pass and overthrowing a wide receiver. You also got to be careful what you provide your quarterback, because if that's not who he is, Joe Burrow could be a very good quarterback even without being able to throw a deep ball. You don't have to throw a deep ball in the league to be good, Kev. Right. You would like him to. It's like having a pitcher in baseball. You could win with a pitcher who throws a high of 94, 95. You would like him to throw over 100, right? But you could win with a 94, 95 guy. You would prefer them to do other things, but you could win with it. You could win with Joe Burrow's ability even without throwing the deep ball. I wouldn't, if you're going to draft Joe Burrow's weapon to give him a deep threat and he's not good at throwing the deep ball, I don't understand the point in that. Protect him. It's that simple. It's really that simple. All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station. We are live on Facebook. Search the Justin Kinner Show. We're also live on YouTube. Search ESPN Dayton and YouTube, and you can jump in on the conversation that way. I thought I was pretty kind criticizing where the Bengals can go. I'm being serious here, though. the draft, they got me to thinking because of the Justin Fields coverage. Like we don't know where this stuff's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
How do we know that what the Bengals reporters are hearing is actually coming from Cincinnati? Mike Brown doesn't like the media to begin with. No, they don't even talk. Like, do you notice that they don't even talk to the media that often? Like,
right.
It's rare if Duke Tobin speaks to the media. It's rare if you get a quote from Mike Brown. It's rare. They don't like media. You think that they're telling the media these things? And that's what I'm saying is did Mike Brown tell a reporter, yeah, we don't really like Penny, so I don't think we're going to go that route? No, that never came out of his mouth. Duke Tobin's never said that they're not going to go the offensive line route. If anything, I think that it's reporters who have to fill content every day who come out and try to stir the pot. Radio guys we get accused all the time of stirring. Or I do more so. You try to keep the plane going. You don't really like stirring the pot, but the stirring the pot thing that we always get accused of. Reporters, they do the same thing. Oh, I'm hearing my sources tell me.
Good old source.
Because as a reporter, I don't have to have a real source. I mean, you do ethically. But I highly doubt half these guys do, and I'm not putting like individual guys in question here, but I'm saying as a reporter, who's to say that you actually do have that source? All I have to say is, well, my sources tell me the Bengals actually aren't interested in Penei Sewell. So until I actually hear from Mike Brown or Duke Tobin that they do not want the best offensive lineman prospect in this year's draft, when that's your number one need, Mike Brown can't be that dumb to not take Penei Sewell. He just can't be that dumb. And the fans fall right into it because the reporter can go find 3 bullet points of this receiver needs to play with Joe Burrow because X, Y, Z. And then the delusional fan goes, oh, my God, you're right. He does. He has to play with him. Who cares? You can get offensive linemen later in the draft, forgetting the logic of, oh, yeah, our team doesn't even know how to draft offensive linemen in the first round. What makes you think that they can get guys in the second and third? That's all. That's all I'm going to say. I don't until I actually see that the Bengals have said from someone within the organization that they are not taking Penei Sewell. I have a hard time. Just like we have a hard time believing Justin Fields isn't going to go number 3. Right. I have a hard time that believing Penei Sewell's not going to go to the Bengals. As much as of a laughing stock as they are, they can't be that stupid to let Penei Sewell go. If Sewell is gone, if someone trades up to number 4 to take Penei Sewell, and then you want to take him, fine. But if you have Penei Sewell there and you take Jamar Chase, a receiver, and receivers you can get every year, I'm sorry, I just can't support that. That's not okay.
So what if they take Kyle Pitts?
You could defend that more, saying, hey, you're drafting a top 5 tight end in the NFL right now, which whatever, you could debate that, but everything you read on the kid is Shannon Sharpe said, he's better than what I was coming out of college, and we all know how good Shannon Sharpe was coming out of college and how good he was in the NFL. It is what it is. Everyone has their own opinion on it. Mm-hmm. But what we're hearing about Kyle Pitts is he's a generational talent. Jamar Chase is just another draft with another talented wide receiver. No disrespect towards him. He could be a Pro Bowler his rookie year. It doesn't matter to me, though, because you signed Reef for 1 year. There's still no long-term plan to protect Joe Burrow, and I think that at least Penei Sewell with Jonah Williams provides that. And without that, I'm not going to put any stock in the second and third round guys. No one tanks to get second-round picks. You could easily get good players in the second. Yeah, you can. But you don't get as good of players in the second as you do in the first. And then those that do, what do we say? Man, they stole him in the second round.
Right.
If you're counting on stealing guys in the second round, you can't plan for that. You got to hope for that. And hoping is not a game plan. All right, we'll step away for a few moments. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. When we come back, the Cleveland Browns, the last big joke of a decision they made was hiring Freddie Kitchens. Well, they just made another decision today that I think is a bigger joke than that. I'll tell you what it is when we come back.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with isolated showers, a high near 64. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy, a low around 43. And tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy, a high near 68. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces around your home, office, or commercial property. Crack filling, asphalt sealing, and parking lot striping. Find us at culletsealcoating.com.
There's been a lot of talk about the chicken sandwich wars lately, but only Lee's Chicken Sandwich is made famous. At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, homestyle happens here with our chicken sandwich combo for only $5.99. You'll get a fresh, never frozen chicken breast in your choice of famous recipe or spicy, topped with chipotle ranch and pickles on a brioche bun, all served with a regular side and drink. Get a taste of fame with our chicken sandwich combo for only $5.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
To all you do-it-yourselfers, get ready to welcome Fram into the fam. Because America's #1 oil filter brand now has their own new line of motor oil and fluids, and it's only at Advance and CarQuest Auto Parts. Stop into Advance and choose from 4 new Fram oil change bundles starting at just $20.99. They have the oil and filters you need to keep your engine running stronger, longer. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
At Napa, we keep things moving. If it has wheels and an engine, we help keep it on the road. And if it's on the road, we have parts for it. And if you need a part, you can get it fast, like same-day pickup or next-day delivery fast. At Napa, when we're not thinking about cars, we're thinking about the people who drive them. Because when it comes to serving you and our community, our motor never quits. That's Napa know-how. Same-day pickup and next-day delivery available at participating stores and on in-stock items only.
I'm Terry Krupp of Laird's Tax and Accounting, serving this area's tax and accounting needs for over 80 years. If you have concerns about your tax return, we invite you to discover how we can make your tax filing experience easier. If you had a difficult experience in the past, our professional staff can provide the accurate return you want with maximum use of all legitimate deductions. Laird's Tax and Accounting is a trusted name and stands behind your return if the IRS calls. Contact us at 937-325-6571. Information at lairdstax.com.
With spring approaching, if you're thinking about planting a tree, the Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture has some tips. Plant trees where they have plenty of room to grow to reduce the need for future pruning, and that includes space for roots to grow. Plant trees that are suitable for your area, and be careful not to plant them too deep. That can be fatal. For more tips on how to properly plant trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. The Army National Guard has taught me the value of showing respect to those I come in contact with each day. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed and accomplish the mission. Plus, the Army National Guard education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard. Aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Save big money on your next outdoor project with 11% off everything. Now at Menards. AC2 pressure-treated lumber is good for any outdoor project. Use quality AC2 pressure-treated lumber to create your outdoor living space. All AC2 pressure-treated lumber is 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through April 17th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
How clean is your nose? Most airborne germs and allergens invade through the nose, your body's air filter. It's first line of defense. You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? Did you know there's an easy way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself? It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to clean your nose by flushing out pollen, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and it comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. And 50,000 independent online reviews averaging 4.7 stars show just how much people love their Navage. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now you can clean your nose and help protect your health with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage. Navage. Make good nasal hygiene your new normal with Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
At CVS, you could earn up to $50 in extra bucks each year just for filling prescriptions. Terms and conditions apply. Not available in all states. See cvs.com/RX rewards or pharmacy for details.
Don't miss out on the opportunity to win $1,000. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway. Each hour starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, we'll release a winning word that you can submit at wingam.com. It's easy, it's free, and you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So what's stopping you? Take a chance and swing for the fences and participate at wingam.com. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
That's not the beat that we get the notification from YouTube, is it?
Every damn day.
Okay.
But, eventually, there we go. There we go. We welcome you back. I'm Justin Kidder. He's Kev Nash hanging out with you here on a Monday. I hope everyone's had a great weekend. You've had a great day. I was supposed to be out on the golf course earlier today, but, of course, the rain had other plans, so I guess I had to come into my office and get work done. How about that?
Boo.
Exactly. Lots to get into still coming up. We'll get to our conversation with Jay Morrison, Bengals writer for The Athletic, coming up here half hour from now. We'll get to that. So we opened up talking about, and this came across on my Twitter feed earlier today that I addressed, that I'm just like, this isn't why you pass up on an offensive lineman if that's your number one need to take a receiver. Mike Clay with ESPN, he goes, if you're wondering why the Bengals, who already have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, would draft a receiver at number 5, keep in mind that they have a 3 wide receiver set on the field about 82% of the time, at least based on last year's setup, and it's the second highest in the NFL. They like 3 receivers on the field at all times. So as the roster stands, Auden Tate would be a de facto starter. I said, well, that's, again, you could, when you are that high in the draft, picking that high in the draft, you have a lot of needs, which means every one of those needs, you could say, I need this receiver because we do X, Y, and Z with our offense. That's why we need him. We need a tight end because with our offense, we would need him to do X, Y, and Z. We need an offensive lineman because, well, we would like our quarterback to play more than 9 or 10 games in the season. And, there's 17 games in the season this year, not 16. And, well, we don't need to worry about the playoffs. We're not making that anyways. But we just need to keep him healthy enough for the regular season game, right? So there's good enough reasons for every position that you can go to pick when you're picking top 5 in the draft. But common sense has to come into play when you're talking about when you prioritize your needs, it's offensive line. And so I said, look, that's a great point about them wanting another elite wide receiver to put on the field with Joe Burrow. Right now they have 2 really good receivers. They need 3. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that's still not a good enough reason to take a wide receiver at number 5 when you have one of the worst offensive line in football. Look, they should have prioritized their cap space better. Taking a less talented offensive lineman in the 2nd and 3rd round just to take a receiver at number 5, that is not addressing your needs in the draft. That is not prioritizing your needs in a common sense way. So that's where I'm at with that. And Nolan Russell brings up a good point. He says, look, tackles, they play 100%. That's a good point. I like that, Nolan Russell. I wish I would have been quicker on my feet on that one. So to go back to Mike Clay's point, he goes, look, they need a 3rd elite wide receiver. They had the 3 receivers set on 82% of their offensive plays last year. Nolan Russell says, yeah, well, offensive tackles, they play 100% of the offensive plays. So he brings up a very valid point as far as that's concerned. But back to the comment section here, just as we're catching you up. David Shaw wanted to know, would love to know your opinion on something. Reports are that there are linemen that there are available linemen to get all over this draft. The number one seed for the number one need for the Bengals is obviously a lineman. What if they drafted Sewell and then more linemen in the draft? That's what I thought that they were going to do to begin with, because they put all of their money into the defense. They almost got Kenny Galladay, which means they were going to put they were willing to commit a good chunk of change to him, not the $18 million a year that he wanted, that he ended up ultimately getting from the Giants. But to me, that looked as if they were going to provide Burrow with another receiver. They were going to load up the defense, and that's what they did, or at least I'm not going to say they loaded it up, but they patched the holes that they created themselves with losing some of their key guys. So like William Jackson and others, and obviously losing their pass rusher and everything else. And I thought that they were going to go a bunch of linemen in this draft. I mean, if you think that taking Penei Sewell and then not taking another O-lineman until the 5th or 6th round is addressing the O-line, I don't even think signing Reif and Sewell is enough to protect Joe Burrow and load up that offensive line. But it's better than it would have been a year ago. Mm-hmm. But no, you're right, Shaw. Like there's going to be plenty of offensive linemen to take, but you're always anything past the first and second and middle of the second, it's all a gamble. Nothing's guaranteed. And to be honest, nothing's guaranteed in the first. But your probability of landing a better talent is in the first round. That's why when you tank, you're not tanking to get the best second round pick you could possibly get. You're not tanking to load up in the 3rd round. You are tanking to get the number. You are tanking so that you can get the highest pick in the first round possible. So I don't like when fans try telling me, oh, Justin, did you know that there's 7 rounds in the draft? Well, did you know that you only tank to get picks in the first? Like, no one's tanking to load up in later rounds. So stop trying to convince me that the picks in the 2nd through the 7th are just as valuable as the first. Not saying you can't hit on one of those, but the probability of landing on an elite player later in the draft is what I'm trying to say. So that's all I'm trying to say. It is what it is at this point. Billy Wright says, Justin, you must not be paying attention. Pro Football Focus, Matt Miller of ESPN and Bucky Brooks from NFL Network all said that Chase is the best wide receiver prospect since Julio Jones. So he isn't just another wide receiver. Yeah, I don't really care, though, because CeeDee Lamb was, I remember last year, Kev, CeeDee Lamb, he's the best prospect since DeAndre Hopkins. That's super. And he was a great receiver for the Cowboys. How good the Cowboys do last year? How'd they do, Kev? I don't remember.
Quarterback got his ankle snapped in 5 places.
But before, when the quarterback had a whole ankle,
they were scoring points.
They were scoring points. They weren't winning football games. No, Billy, you're right. You're absolutely. So what he's saying is earlier, I was almost trying to make him sound like he was just another wide receiver. I'll retract that then. Not just another wide. He is the best receiver in this year's draft class, but not head and shoulders. I mean, you talk about Devontae Smith, and you talk about Jalen Waddle, and I can't remember the other receiver's name from LSU that you brought up. I didn't even look. Terrence Marsh. So there we go. Is there a gap between him and those guys? Not big enough for me to say we have to have him at number 5. So Billy, you're right. He does go on to say, but he does totally agree that Sewell or Slater in the first, but I would go a step further and take another O-lineman in the second. And there we go.
Like you said, man, it's tons of wide receivers out there. We talked about it a ton. We talk about Rondale Moore. We talk about Rashawn Bateman. We talk about those guys because we watch them because they're in the Big Ten. But there's other guys. Just as Sean Wade, how good Cordell Powell is from Clemson, spun around like a top.
Purdue kid.
Yeah, you got Sage Surratt from Wake Forest. You got Tamarion Terry from Florida State. There's a ton of explosive wide receivers out there up for the picking in the 2nd and 3rd round. Get the offensive lineman. Protect Joe Burrow, and then get the playmakers in the 2nd round, because there's far more playmakers than there are guys that can protect the quarterback.
All right, 457-9464 is the number to call in. Kev, who we got?
We got Ron.
Ron, how are you? Ron, welcome.
Daddy?
Hello?
Hey, Ron, is this you?
Yeah, this is John.
John, not Ron. All right, John, damn it. Screwed it up. I'm all thrown off now. John, I hope you're having a good day, man. What you got for us today?
As I'm an Eagles fan, so I know we traded down. I think we got the 12th pick. We had the 6th pick, but I believe what you were just saying, I was listening to what you were saying is exactly correct. I used to be a Bengals fan as recently as 3 years ago, and the one thing I've been telling their fans is I was like, if you guys don't, you're only as good as your O-line and your D-line.
Yep.
If you don't have a good O-line doesn't matter what wide receivers or quarterbacks you got back there, you're going to suffer. And if you don't have a D-line who can stop the run and push the pocket, you're also going to suffer. So with that being said, I hope that they pick a good offensive lineman because that's what they need to set themselves up for years. And then I hope, to say for my Eagles fans, I hope we pick Micah Parsons. I think that'll be a good addition to our defense.
You leave him alone. I want the Browns to take him. I keep saying the Browns are going to quietly sneak up to, but that's an excellent pick. That name doesn't get brought up enough. Whoever takes him, it's going to be like the Bush pick from when the Steelers traded up to take Bush from Michigan a few years ago. That was like to me, that was one of the best picks of the first round that year. That Bush didn't get talked about enough, just like Parsons isn't getting talked about enough. If the Eagles get him, that's a hell of a pick right there.
Yeah, I hope we do because we need to have a youthful setting foundation for our defense. I'm not saying the linebackers we have are not good because I think they are, but Micah Parsons is a different type of linebacker, and they could probably maybe turn the switch on for him to be a baby Lawrence Taylor, for years to come if he learns good and he keeps his head on straight, which I believe he will. And I think I think that's the case, but with Jadeveon Clowney going to the Browns, possibly, the Browns are getting too much riches. Like, they have almost a perfect team right now. So I think they're like one really good wide receiver away from really making the Super Bowl. So, yeah, y'all not getting my boy.
That's totally fine. I totally get it. Hey, it was great. Hey, I appreciate the call, John. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your Monday.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
All right, good stuff there. But interesting. Did you even get to your point with
him? No, you're good. I was just going to razz him about being a Eagles fan and him being an Eagles fan and them letting go of their Super Bowl head winning coach and basically getting peanuts for Carson Wentz. At
the end of it, like when you at least are a few years removed from a Super Bowl, like I always say this all the time. If my team can give me one Super Bowl per 10 years, I could deal with 9 bad years as long as I get one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, man, when you have to go through decades of this calamity right here just to build it up. Like, if the Browns' peak of their run right now is what happened this past year, that's disappointing. Mm-hmm. Because look how hard they had to work just to get to being a 12 or 11 win team. Look how hard they had to work just to get to to not getting blown out by the Chiefs, even though you did lose to a damn backup who played at Michigan, and that was painful. But yeah, nonetheless. But no, look, I know we spend a lot of time talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, and half the time I'm not saying anything that Bengals fans want to hear. But sometimes I think that I don't really care at this point. I'm not bashing the Bengals. I'm bashing those who think that they are like I said earlier. If you are a good organization that drafts well, I would understand if you said, yeah, well, we can get an offensive lineman later in the draft. I'd say, you know what? If you're the Seahawks, I trust that you could do that. If you're the Patriots, I trust that you could do that. The Steelers, even though you guys are on rough times right now, I would trust that, there's just good organizations, the Saints, you just trust these organizations that they are going to find the guys that they need in the draft and fill some holes. But when you're the Bengals and when you're a fan of the Bengals and you actually, without laughing, with a straight face, could type in my face on my Facebook page and actually say there's 7 rounds in the draft, and you think that means anything to me coming from a Bengals fan, you are the comedian, not me. You are the laughingstock, not me. Because why do you think that the Bengals all of a sudden know how to select talent later in the draft? They could barely do it in the first round. What makes you think that they all of a sudden that they see something in the 3rd and 4th that no one else does? I just don't get it. No one tanks to get a high 3rd round pick. They tank to get a high 1st round pick because that's where all the talent is. The talent. Every time a pick is selected, every time a player comes off the board, the draft gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So counting on getting the best player available in the weaker rounds doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't mean you can't find it there. Half the quarterbacks in the NFL right now came later in the draft. We talked about that last week, where when you look at a lot of the elite starters in the league right now, none of them were selected in the top 5. In fact, Baker Mayfield and Matt Ryan since 2008 are the only 2 quarterbacks selected in the top 5, Kev, that are still with their respective teams. Now, Joe Burrow last year and stuff, but I'm talking about guys that have been around for a few years, at least have played more than 3 years with their team. Baker Mayfield and Matt Ryan are the only 2 quarterbacks with their team that drafted them. Everything's a bust, or at least it doesn't work out, and teams move on and say you're just not good enough. Hell, Rosen's on team number 5 or whatever. Like that's what's crazy about all this. That's all. So that's where I'm at when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals. And that, again, yes, wide receiver Jamar Chase, super good. you have too many holes for that to be a priority that you should get right now. It doesn't make any sense. The Bengals are acting like they got the stimulus check and they go out and buy a big screen TV. You don't need that big screen TV. You need to pay off some of your bills, but hey, enjoy your big screen TV. Hey, you don't need that Jamar Chase, but you need to get an offensive lineman to keep your bills paid, to keep your electricity on. But hey, enjoy that big screen TV. You won't have power to plug it in to watch it, but hey, at least it looks good sitting in your living room. Hey, you won't have a quarterback healthy enough to throw to that nice receiver, but hey, at least he looks good on your depth chart. Give me a damn break. Take the offensive lineman. It's not that hard to figure out. 457-9464. So I teased earlier, Kev. I got to reuse my tease. Don't I? It's 341. The Browns made a signing today that is probably their worst signing since Freddie Kitchens. I'll tell you who that is coming up. Vincent Waller on Facebook says, spot on certain teams not being trustworthy enough to make smart picks consistently. And I'll be honest, the Browns have picked really well over the last couple of years. I would not trust the Browns to find the right guys. Like, I'm not delusional. Like, I know that the Browns are a joke. Bengals fan today got mad at me. I wasn't even talking Browns. He said, you're a Browns fan and you're lecturing me. I'm like, I'm not lecturing anybody. I'm laughing at you. There's a difference. I'm not lecturing. And the Browns are a laughing stock as well. The Browns making the playoffs for 1 year does not change that they are a laughing stock of an organization. Them making it this year, it heals some wounds, but it doesn't change the fact that they're still a bad organization. It takes time to convince people. I mean, the Saints, look how long it took for the Saints to be viewed by people around the league as a respectable organization. The Saints. I remember as a kid when I was in middle school and high school, Kev, you wore paper bags to their games. Mm-hmm. That's how bad the Saints organization was. Now they're one of the most respected franchises in football. That could be the Brown, but it takes time. The Saints didn't do that. And by the way, it took a lot, not just getting and winning a Super Bowl. It took a lot of winning seasons. You have to be consistent. And that's one thing that the Bengals definitely are. And that's one thing for sure that the Browns are not. That's why as a Browns fan, I'm panicking. I'm like, okay, is this enough to win a Super Bowl? Because I'm not confident that next year the Browns are going to be as aggressive or be even able to keep all these guys, because they're not. And that's the thing too. The Browns have loaded this roster to the point to where they are Super Bowl contenders for 1 year. Mm-hmm. Next year, when they have to get creative, are you going to find the deals on the market? Are you going to get steals out in the market? I don't trust that the Bengals or that the Browns can do that. So no, I'm not a Homer Browns fan. The Browns are still a joke. They're going to need to do a lot more to get me and others to fully trust that they're not going to hurt us again. So, it is what it is. But we're going to hold hands in public. We're going to take selfies and put them on Facebook, and we're going to convince everyone that we're a happy couple. But every time I see the Browns on their cell phone, I'm wondering who they talking to. Got trust issues. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsommers.com. That's Sommers with an O, kirklandandsommers.com.
Spending more time at home? There has never been a better time to invest in your home. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. Can't get to the big game? No problem. Audio Etc. can bring any game home. It's better than being there. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc. today and experience 8K TVs and projectors. Surround sound? You haven't heard surround sound till you hear Dolby Atmos 360 degrees. Put you smack dab in the middle with 11.2 channel surround sound. Audio Etc. has the brands, the deals, and the excitement. Audio Etc. powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. Stop by and experience the crazy cool showroom, the top brands, excellent service, and knowledgeable staff. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom.
Hi, I'm calling to schedule a shipment.
Indeed knows unexpected employee turnover can turn your business upside down.
Last pickup is at 7. Team, we gotta hustle.
Like at Sumita's online chai company, to avoid back orders, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions.
Have you been seeking a final resting place for your loved one's cremated remains? Are you tired of endlessly searching to find a permanent home for a family member that gives you peace of mind, offers more security than the mantle, and doesn't cost thousands of dollars? This is Mark Davis from Dayton Memorial Park Cemetery, located at 8135 North Dixie Drive. We are pleased to announce a new product that offers families the opportunity to give their loved ones a permanent, serene, final resting place for as little as $300. Call us today at 937-890-1831.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. You are powerful. You're a warrior who bathes in your enemy's tears. Then you step out of that refreshing tear bath and into a bathrobe that somehow looks good on you. Yeah, you can pull off a robe. There. Don't you feel better? You'll also feel better when you save money for driving safely with Snapshot from Progressive. Savings you can use to buy more robes. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents.
Hey, it's me. Just wanted to reach out after yesterday's video call. You mentioned your friends going through a hard time right now. I wanted to recommend an app you should download. It's the How We Reach coaching tool. It's got tips on, how to reach out to friends or family members who are struggling. So it's great that you're there for your friend. I really think this tool will help you give them the support they need. So let me know if you want to talk.
Download the tool on reach.gov today.
It's spring. Time to take in a breath of fresh savings on appliances at the Home Depot's Spring Savings event. In-store, online, all season long. Save on top appliances from top brands. Plus, get free and flexible delivery on any appliance $396 or more. From cooking and cleaning to washing and drying. Your timing couldn't be better. Bring on spring with the Spring Savings event now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last, valid through April 28th.
Nya nya nya. Zimbabwe. The broken Bunsen burner burns so bright. Southeast Asian Peninsula.
Hey, Jamie. Yes. I think the only line we need from you today is drivers who switch to Progressive could save big.
Cool. I just got to finish my warm-ups. Foul, throw in the towel. History.
Switch to Progressive today.
Santa ski slalom in a salmon skin suit.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven. It's time for some straight talk. Sure, saving money feels good, but cutting your wireless bill in half, that feels really good. Like walk-off home run in the 9th inning kind of good. Okay, maybe not that good, but pretty darn good. With Straight Talk, you can get 25 gigs of high-speed data for $45 a month, up to 50% less than the other guys. Plus, no contract. All on America's best networks. Why pay a whole lot when you could pay half? Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Right now at Wendy's, with the Biggie Bag, you get a bacon double stack, 4-piece crispy or spicy nuggets, fries, and a drink, all for just $5. That's a bag with real value. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on the Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, we are back. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kevin Nash here on 1410 ESPN Radio. I told you the Reds were no good. Told you guys last week. You just need to relax. Remember, I spelled it out for you. Told you there's a lot of games left to be played. Actually, no. I'm not down about the Reds at all. They're 6-3. The power rankings came out today. They moved up 11 spots. They're in the top 10. Not that means technically anything because no one cares about power rankings, but clearly the 2 games they lost to the Diamondbacks didn't scare any of the critics of this team. I mean, they still got Major League Baseball's attention around the league. They start a new series with the Giants coming up later on tonight, a 3-game series with the Giants before they return home for the third home series of the season with Cleveland. Their first with Cleveland coming up this weekend, but they got to get to these 3 with the Giants. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks. Hopefully they can get back in their winning ways. We're getting to some Red stuff coming up around the corner. It's time to move. It's time to give Joey Votto less at bats and to get him out of the top half of the order. So David Bell forced me to delay my criticism a bit, but we're officially it's time for Kenner to question David Bell's decision-making season again. So,
Can I talk about the Cleveland baseball team real quick?
Talk about the Cleveland baseball team real quick. Huh?
We're nice in 5-3 on a 4-game winning streak. And like I said, there's nothing like playing in the AL Central. Because when you need wins, you dial up the Detroit Tigers. And that's exactly who was on the schedule for my Cleveland Baseball Club. Got us pitching right, got us hitting the ball right. Feels good to be at top of the division. And we'll drop back down because we'll play real competition like the Reds. And then we'll jump right back up because we play in the AL Central. The AL Central is terrible. That's where my team plays. So that's why I firmly believe that they'll be right in the playoff thick of things come the end of the season because the AL Central is garbage.
I don't know. So, I mean, the NL Central looks it must be the Central. You don't need to put NL, AL in front of it. The Central just is not good. The Reds look dominant against the Pirates. But again, people want to forget that they took 2 or 3 from the Cardinals, who loaded, like the Cardinals were the only team in the offseason for the NL Central that actually loaded up their roster. They went out and got Nolan Arenado. That's a good team that the Reds took 2 or 3 from to open up the season. And if Luis Castillo pitches just a normal game, just an average game on opening day, the Reds are 3-0 and 6-0 to start the season. They were, right now, dropping 2 or 3 to the Diamondbacks. It is what it is. You play 162 games. I didn't overreact. By the way, I did not overreact to their start at all. I did not overreact to their start. I told you, they did not just win games 4-3 and 5-4. They were winning, blitzing every opponent. It was a record-setting start to the season. So I don't care that they lost those last 2. The bats need to wake back up, though. I don't want to see that being a trend. But baseball's all about up and down. Nobody averages 8 to 9 hits a night. No one averages 9 to 10 runs a game. The Dodgers were the best team in baseball last year. They averaged 6 runs a game. If the Reds score 6 runs, we think something's wrong because they're not putting 9 and 10 up like they were the first 6 games of the season. So everyone I'm not overreacting to that loss. I didn't overreact to the wins. The wins were impressive. And Sports Center, everyone across the country was putting up these Reds graphics talking about how dominant they've been to start. So it is what it is. It's not time to panic. There's no time to throw a parade for a World Series. And there's no time to, start moving on to next season. The Reds dropped 2 or 3 to the Diamondbacks. They're going to drop 2 to 3 to a lot of teams throughout the year. They're going to take 2 or 3 from a lot of teams this year. I'm not freaking out yet. They do need to get healthy, though. Sonny Gray needs to get back as soon as possible. I think the fact that the Reds had as hot a start as they did, they had every excuse not to be 6-1 to start. But they did start out 6-1. Now they're 6-3. They got to get their ish together because that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm just saying. By the way, Steve Stetler right away, he says bench Votto, bench Votto, etc. I'm not at the bench Votto stage yet, but I'm tired of the we got to keep him in the lineup because he's Joey Votto approach. That's a losing approach. When the Cardinals moved on from Pujols, that wasn't a popular decision, but it was the right one. You got to do that, and I'm tired of the Reds, doing this. Oh, but it's Joey Votto, man. He won an MVP for us back in 2012. That was 9 years ago, by the way. When you talk about Joey Votto winning an MVP, I fall in the habit of using the phrase, when he won the MVP a few years ago. That was almost a decade ago. So Joey Votto, we have to stop this romanticizing of Joey Votto because those days are gone. He's older. It's just he's not the same player.
Not to cut you off, but I think the reason why...
I never cut you off. You're going to cut me off?
I think the main reason why Cardinals fans were angry that they let Pujols go because they won a World Series his last year there. And, one could say he was the MVP of the World Series the year that they let him go. So I could understand where they're coming from, where Cardinals fans are coming from. And then he balled out his first couple of years after he went to Anaheim, right?
Yep.
So, they're like, and he's still playing at a decent level. But that same thing can't be said about Joey Votto. Like, it's been a long time, like you were just saying, like he hasn't been playing up to that MVP caliber. And I mean, nobody's expecting you to still play at an MVP caliber so many years later. But
you can't hit 196.
In the back of your head, you're thinking like, oh man, that was just a couple years ago. And then you say, whoa, that's been 10 years.
Yep.
10 years is a long time, man. So, it's a difficult position that the Reds are put in, because like, you don't want to be pulling the college football situation, paying people to go away, paying people not to play. So it's kind of like why he's in the lineup to hit the ball, but if he's not hitting the ball, you might have to sit down.
Yeah, one reason the Reds moved on from Billy Hamilton, and who was a fan favorite, is because, well, he's hitting 220. We can't have that. Joey Votto's hitting 170 or 162. I'm sorry. I think there's a couple pitchers you could throw out there that'll give you a better effort than Joey Votto has to this point. I mean, it's just he's played in all 9 games. He's had 37 at bats and he's had 6 hits. You need more. I mean, to get, especially hitting at the top of the order. That's the problem I have with Joey Votto. All right, so I told you earlier, Freddie Kitchens was the worst signing I thought that the Browns ever made in recent years, especially was Freddie Kitchens. The Browns have finally said, hold my beer, or we have one to top it, Kev.
Hold my beer.
So, RC Cola. Are you a fan of RC Cola?
My mom is a big fan of RC Cola.
Then she's a Browns fan, right?
No, she's a Steelers fan.
No, she's going to become a Browns fan now because the Cleveland Browns, they have signed an exclusive pop deal with RC Cola.
Okay.
Who the hell signs an exclusive deal? Who does that?
Mr. Pip.
No. So I didn't know this too. I always thought Dr. Pepper was a Pepsi product.
Yes.
It's an RC Cola product.
It is.
RC Cola ranks higher than Dr. Pepper. I thought RC Cola was like a generic brand. Like, we grew up poor. I can always tell when things in our family were going better. Like, my mom come home with the name brand Dr. Pepper and the name brand Coke. I'm like, oh, now I can get that PlayStation now, Mom. You told me. But when I saw her walk in with the Dr. Pibb and the RC Cola, I'm like, oh, crap, the power's going to go out, ain't it? Like, that's when I started getting nervous, right? But the RC Cola, man, so times are tight. Got to pay for that. Those contracts somehow. We're going to go from Coca-Cola to RC Cola. This is the worst signing since Freddie Kitchens for the Cleveland Browns. They have officially signed an exclusive pop deal. I've seen Pepsi and Coke products everywhere. I have never, ever seen anybody use that. Dr. Pibb, though, is pretty damn good. Mr. Pibb or whatever it is. Mr. Pibb. I will take that. And I think, is it Chipotle? Someone around here has that. I think it's Chipotle. They have Pibb over Dr. Pepper.
I believe so.
And it's the bee's knees.
And I think that happened in the bottles.
Doesn't see, yeah. But Pibb is I'll take that over regular Dr. Pepper, and I love Dr. Pepper.
So what's your favorite soda, since we're talking soda?
Oh,
and is it soda or is it pop?
Oh, it's pop. Now, I grew up in El Paso, and we used to have a babysitter who was from this area, and she always said, "Pop, what you want? Pop, want pop, want pop." I'm like, "What the hell's pop?" Like, I thought she was gonna hit me. Because my grandma was like, "You say that again, I'm gonna pop you right in the mouth." So when she kept saying, "You want a pop?" I'm like, "What did I say?" All I said was, "Hi, how are you?" You were like, "Give me a pop." She wanted to give me a pop, like a soda. But in El Paso, it's hey, do you want a Coke? Yep. What kind? I'm like, "What do you mean, what kind? Just give me a damn Coke." I thought you meant like cherry Coke, like vanilla Coke. No, I was like, "Yeah, I'll take a Coke." So they bring you a Pepsi. I'm like, "Oh no, I want a Coke." They're like, "Oh, well, you didn't say that. You just said you wanted it." I'm like, I didn't know that. So I'm learning. So there's that. But keep that in mind. But no, for me, Dr. Pepper's the go-to. That's always the go-to.
Man, for me, and I can't have
it. But Taco Bell has the best fountain Pepsi. If I go, Diet Pepsi, their Diet Pepsi is the best. If you go to Taco Bell, fountain Diet Pepsi at Taco Bell is the best. But Coke at McDonald's, no, nothing touches that. But Dr. Pepper anywhere is always usually pretty good.
For me, and I can't have it because I'll drink a whole 2 liter by myself. Tahitian Treat, without a doubt.
Never had it.
What?
Never had it. I don't even know what that is.
Go to break.
All right, break. Hour 1 in the books, hour 2. But yes, the worst signing that the Cleveland Browns have made since Freddie Kitchens. That was Baker Mayfield. Nice try, Bengals fans. It's RC Cola. That is the official pop drink of the Cleveland Browns. So there you go. But the pop doesn't make you. You make the pop. And the playoff Cleveland Browns, the AFC North champion Cleveland Browns of 2021, they're going to make RC Cola a thing. I might start drinking it now. In fact, I'm going to load up on RC Cola. I'm going to learn to like it.
I'm going to sponsor.
I'm going to learn to. I'm going to reach out. We're going to get RC Cola to sponsor the show. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, RC Cola. I'm telling. I could always always tell when my family was doing well financially. If we came home with RC Cola, I'm like, oh, crap, times are tough. It's not a good time to ask for that PlayStation I want. But if we came home with the Dr. Pepper or the name brand Coke, I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask for the console and the game. I already knew what game I was going to ask for. I'm just saying. We'll be, wait, hold up. So Matthew Gaines says he loves the Tahitian treat.
Yes, sir.
Hold up. I got to Google this. Maybe
Come on, man.
All right. How do you even spell Tahitian treat?
Yeah, it's in the wrong guy.
All right, use it in this. That just looks like Hawaiian punch.
No.
Is it like a pop? Is it like
it's pop? It's pop.
All right.
It's pop, soda, whatever you want to call it. It is the best.
Well, what is it to you, soda?
It is my aunt.
You grew up in Cleveland. Is it pop in Cleveland?
It's pop in Cleveland, but my aunt lived in New Jersey and New York for so long, and I talk to my aunt all the time, so she got me saying soda, so now I say soda. So it's soda to me now, but it used to be pop as a kid.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. RC Cola, come on now. I mean, if RC Cola was an NFL team, it'd be the Bengals. We'll be back in a moment. Hour 2, don't go anywhere.
Tahitian treat.
Yep.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested rebound. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game, and now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more driven.
Life hacks. What would life be without them? Like using candle wax to loosen a stuck zipper. Here's another life hack. Now you can get the same high-quality insurance from Allstate, but at a new low rate. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit Allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Not available in every state. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Receive a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. With COVID continuing to spread, nothing matters more than having an accurate thermometer that's backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies, like the Exergen temporal scanner. Even after getting the COVID vaccine, you should be monitoring for fever to make sure you are protected. Keep your family and yourself safe by trading up your non-contact thermometer for an accurate temporal scanner and a $5 rebate from Exergen, where accuracy matters. Details at Exergen.com.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Service Manager, Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. When you need service, we're here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 6 to 8 and Saturdays from 7 to 5. We proudly offer a state-of-the-art facility with factory-trained technicians, clean waiting room, and service department. Loaner cars are available during service and free alignment checks with any service. Be sure to stop in and ask for our $39.95 oil change special. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, State Route 35, east of 675, between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no touch freight. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Now's the time to finish what you started by completing your degree at Ohio Dominican University.
It's not easy to always get to the finish line, but the only way you're gonna get is you gotta keep moving. Just kept putting one foot in front of the other. There was no quit. I was not gonna give up.
Pursue your bachelor's degree in high demand fields such as business, risk management, and more. Classes start soon. Get started at ohiodominican.edu/adult.
At CVS, you could earn up to $50 in extra bucks each year just for filling prescriptions. Terms and conditions apply. Not available in all states. See cvs.com/RX rewards or pharmacy for details.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kinner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com. WYNG 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
All right, we are back. Hour 2. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area, with 5 attorneys to meet your need. You asked me my favorite pop. My favorite pop is Baja Blast. Now, again, it's like there's different fast food restaurants in town that, like, I crave a certain pop, but I can't like just go get a bottle of that pop or a can of that pop. I have to have the fountain pop. Fountain Diet Pepsi from Taco Bell is the bee's knees, but the Baja Blast is the cat's meow.
I'll give you my number 2, Stewart's Root Beer.
Stewart's Root Beer. For me, it's just the what's the gray root beer? The gray bottle root beer. Barks. There we go.
Stewart's, man. Oh my goodness.
But Baja Blast for days, baby. That's where I live, is in the Baja Blast range right there. In fact, when they released Baja Blast to stores, like Mountain Dew always had, and I hate Mountain Dew. I hate it. It's gross. I absolutely hate it. Nora loves it. That's her pop.
Code Red. I like.
Code Red. I forgot about that. No. I'm so screwing up here. See, now I know why I was up to almost 240 pounds. I haven't had pop in a while till today. I told you I got here. I had to get. So I've gave up drinking pop, and as I was on a roll and I don't crave it anymore, Byers, when he has his show on Mondays, like, he loves his damn pop. He has to have it. In fact, I told him, I was like, don't bring pop into the station. I will go get pop from time to time and just leave a couple in the studio for you. He goes to Costco and gets this. I mean, my God, this 36 pack of pop. So it's sitting in my office. And then there's every once in a while I'll get this craving for pop. And I'm like, no, I'm doing good. I mean, you guys see on those that watch, I drink a ton of water. That's all I drink is water. But today I couldn't help it. The Pepsi was sitting in my office, and I don't even care for Pepsi out of a can. I love Pepsi from, like a fountain Pepsi. But Big Red, though. Big Red. Man, if I could only pick one pop the rest of my life. I just don't like Big Red because it makes, like, then my lips get all red. Then, like, there's that, But Big Red and Baja Blast, if I could only pick 2 pops the rest of my life. But the lemonade ginger ale is pretty good, too. I mean, I drink a lot of pop. I'm all about options.
About them.
I'm all about the options, but I've never heard of Tahiti Blast or whatever you're talking about.
Tahitian treat, man.
Same thing. Tahiti Blast. That's a new pop, then. We just made it up.
Sound like a gentleman's club.
What did I say, Tahiti Blast? There you go. So not really breaking news. This isn't a huge signing, an interesting signing. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending Super Bowl champs, signed a former Cincinnati Bengal, Giovanni Bernard, has signed a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I thought that was interesting because we look at the, they signed Leonard Fournette. They already have Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And Jones was great. I mean, the only reason the Bucs had to go and get Fournette is because of the injury and the opting. Didn't he opt out too? No, that was the Chiefs who had their running back opt out. But the Jones, was banged up a bit too. But that's 3 running backs that the Bucs have. I'm surprised he went there. I mean, he wants to win. He knows what it's like to lose. Trust me. He wants to win, and he goes, if I have to be a 3rd-string running back, so if I have to be a practice squad running back just to play with the Buccaneers, I find that signing interesting. I thought that he would have gone elsewhere and it could have been a feature, not a number 1 back, but I thought he could have played the like with the Browns, they have their 2 backs.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have been the featured back. He wouldn't have been Chubb. He would have been Kareem Hunt. I thought he could have played that role somewhere. I thought he could have played it in Pittsburgh. I really thought that's where he could have ended up, to be honest with you.
He's really going to fill that role of a Rex Burkhead, of a James White role that's in New England, that guy out the backfield, because we all know Giovanni Bernard catches the ball great out the backfield. He's got hands like a wide receiver. So I think he's going to fill that role for them, a short yardage guy on the passing down situations. I mean, you already got Fournette, the hammer, and then you got Jones, the speed back. So now you got your pass catcher out the backfield, just more weapons for them. Like you said, he's a complimentary back, whatever, but you add him to the cluster of guys they already got. It just seems like, man, they just keep stockpiling more talent on that roster. And I mean, there's still potential to bring a Hall of Fame wide receiver and Antonio Brown back. So
yeah, he's still out there. Antonio Brown, a lot of big name free agents out there. How about these names of free agents that are still available? Like, we thought that free agency was done, right? Like, it started, well, like Jadeveon Clowney is considered the number 1 free agent remaining. And it sounds like he's going to get a deal done with the Cleveland Browns. Antonio Brown and Jadeveon Clowney, Clowney 1, Brown 2 are the top 2 free agents remaining, at least in regards to, this great, again, everyone has their list. You have Steven Nelson, the cornerback from Pittsburgh, that's still available as well. He's 28 years old. Casey Hayward. I mean, for anyone out there that needs help with their secondary, I mean, there's, Brian Poole, but offensive tackle, like this is the other thing too. If the Bengals don't want to go Penei Sewell, then get your ass in front of whether it's Eric Fisher, whether it's Schwartz, whether it's Villanueva from Pittsburgh. Again, by the way, actually, maybe don't touch the guys that were on their offensive one. No, I'm just joking. But,
I mean, there's a reason why Pittsburgh hasn't signed Villanueva back.
It's fascinating. I mean, Richard Sherman, another cornerback too. There's a lot of, he needs to go to an experienced team. Pittsburgh. I could see him going to Pittsburgh. They lost Hilton. Sherman's not going to cost a lot of money.
He's a man-to-man corner, and Pittsburgh plays a ton of zone, and I just don't see him fitting with Pittsburgh. You have to have, wheels to be a defensive back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't see him being a fit unless he wants to make that transition to safety like a la Charles Woodson did later in his career. But I just don't see him falling with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually do see him falling back to a team like the Cardinals or even potentially going back to the 49ers, teams that primarily play a man-based defense.
Sorry, I thought you were still going to go there, so I picked the wrong spot to take my drink. But there's
take a sip of your Tahitian treat.
my Tahitian, whatever the hell you called it. So Olivia Verdon still available. Justin Houston, edge rusher from the Colts, but Austin Reeder still available, the center from Kansas City. This is the problem. And then if you need a running back too, like James Conner, Le'Veon Bell. Kev, let me ask you: Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, 2 former Steelers available. Mm-hmm. 2 positions that the Steelers kind of need help with.
Mm-hmm.
Who would, if the Steelers could only pick one, or just forget it, forget all other options. If you could only pick one of those 2 to return to Pittsburgh, who would you pick?
Le'Veon Bell.
Well, really?
Mm-hmm.
Even though Antonio Brown looks to be more productful, is that a word? Productful? Hold on, what's the word I'm looking for? Productful? Productive? Okay. We know what we need. We need guys to host shows that talk for a living, actually, and they get productful. I'm going with that. If you say it with confidence, you can make anything sound like
facts.
So, Kev, Antonio Brown, he's more productful than Le'Veon Bell. How'd that sound? No, but of the 2, so you're saying Le'Veon Bell?
Yes, I would go with Le'Veon Bell. He would be more helpful to the team at a position where they're more of a need. They already got 4 receivers on the team already. Antonio Brown's not about to be out there playing kickoff coverage because, in the NFL, there's only a 53-man roster. You got Deontay Johnson, who basically took Antonio Brown's role as the number 1 guy on the outside. And then you obviously have Claypool came in last year as a rookie. You still have James Washington. You just signed back Juju to be the slot guy. So those spots are taken. And you're not going to line Antonio Brown up in the slot. Antonio Brown's not a slot receiver. He's an outside receiver. So you want somebody in the backfield that's be able to pick up the blitzes, who's a great pass protector and a great receiver out the backfield. That's a Le'Veon Bell. He's not going to lose his ability to catch the ball out the backfield. And judging from everything that's been wrong with the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line, they need all the help blocking they can get. And Antonio Brown, he ain't going to be blocking nobody. That ain't his job to block. His job is to catch passes and score touchdowns.
So many big names. I mean, Kev, the names that are available right now. I mean, Todd Gurley, Duke Johnson, Geno Atkins. And this is towards the bottom of the list. Kenny Stills. There are impact players available. I just don't get it.
At what cost, though?
And again, but some of these guys have to have, eventually the dam's going to break where all of these guys are going to find a suitor eventually, right?
Right.
And I don't know if it's going to come before or after the draft. At this point, I think teams are we're not touching anybody until after the draft. Let's just see, what do you do? I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think anyone touches these guys over the coming weeks, or at least maybe a few here and there until after the draft. But the dam's going to break, and these guys are going to start filling out rosters across the board. Some of them are going to get invites to camp and everything like that too. But this is, Golden Tate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good names. I just don't, I don't understand as I'm going down. Alshon Jeffrey is available. Adrian Claiborne is available. Rex Burkhead. These aren't. These are. When healthy, Tyler Eifert's available. So it's just one of those things that none of these are. Oh man. he's going to be the number one player at that position. But there's so many good players still available, Kev. It fascinates me right now. But I thought Le'Veon Bell and, you look at Antonio Brown being available. I just thought that was interesting because two positions the Steelers need. And I did, I'm just curious where you thought with that. Who we at? 457-9464. We got Charlie waiting. Charlie, how are you, sir?
I drank Coca-Cola Classic. If you guys were asking, I know Kev brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola Classic. Coca-Cola Classic. I mean, hey, I could drink Coca-Cola Classic. I'll take that over RC Cola. The Browns never make a bad decision ever, but they finally made one. It's the strangest thing.
I didn't even know they served pop at sporting events.
I didn't know Browns fans drank pop. I thought all they drank was beer, to be honest with you.
I've never drank a pop ever at a Bengals game, not once.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Like when I go to a game, I hate that I have to spend like $10, $11 on a beer, but I will spend $11 on a beer. When the vendor looks at me and says it's $9.50 for a Pepsi, I'm like, are you kidding? Like I used to work in fast food when I was in college. I know what it costs to for this pop, and you're going to charge me $9.50. I can't stomach paying that money for a pop. I can do it for a beer, but for a pop, I can't do that.
How many Facebook comments have you already come up with for when the Bengals draft Jamar Chase? Like how many ways to diss the Bengals have you thought of yet?
What do you mean?
We got a couple weeks to go, and this is the I Hate the Bengals show.
I've been better. I did last week. I was disappointed in you last week because I did a whole 3-hour show, and at the end, Kevin goes, "You did it. You went a whole 3 hours. It was a 3-hour." Good congratulations to the Bengals. I was proud of them for the Ring of Honor. I thought it was really cool. I told Kevin I'm not going to say one bad thing about the Bengals. I made it the whole 3 hours. And where was Charlie?
No. Something else.
See, you guys like when I make fun of the Bengals. I really do, because when I say nice things, I don't hear a peep from you guys. But the second, I don't get you guys. You guys are an interesting bunch, all 10 of you.
Well, I hope we take Jamar Chase.
Why do you want Jamar Chase so bad? He's good. They're all good.
Can I have you pull around to the delivery lane for me?
What are you doing, Charlie?
We'll pass them right out
Hey,
to you.
you can call me while I'm working. I can't talk to you while you're working.
I'm not working. I was ordering food, but I can't say where it's from because they're not your sponsor. But
you're where? Hold up. Where are you?
Well, you got to wait so long on the phone. I had to order food.
Well, where are you at? Well, what pop did you get?
I didn't get pop because I'm like you, man. I'm super fat, and I got to quit drinking pop.
I'm telling you, it's tough to do, but some days you just crave it. But anyways, Jamar Chase. Look, I think Jamar Chase is a fantastic. I'm not telling anyone that he's not good. I'm just saying that he's not a good pick for the Bengals, in my opinion. But why do you think that it's okay to take him when you have such a glaring needed offensive line, I guess? And we're having a normal conversation, no cheap shots. I'll be nice, but I will. Just because I'm saying I think the Bengals are wrong for not going O-line doesn't mean I'm taking a shot. You got to be able to figure that out on your own, though.
Okay, I don't know who it was, but somebody had posted like the last 20 years, the number 5 pick in the draft, and it seems to be about 50-50, hit or miss. And it could even be a miss on Jamar Chase. I'm not saying that is not a chance, but man, I don't know. I feel like it's, especially with the Bengals' recent history, it's definitely easier for them to bust on a lineman than on a receiver. And you got to think about who's drafting who. You know, the Brown family loves wide receivers. They love them. They want to pay them. And so I just don't see. And if Joe Burrow, if they really gave him any kind of input on the decision, of course he said Jamar Chase. He might have secretly said Kyle Pitts though, because Kyle Pitts is a freak. Do you know he had Calvin Johnson's numbers at his pro day?
Yeah, I mean, look, and that's what I said too. I was like, look, I understand you have one of the best receivers in the draft in Chase, who you can argue he's the best receiver in the draft. And not only is Pitts the best tight end in the draft, but he is arguably the best player in the draft. And then Penei Sewell, who seems to be a generational prospect as far as an offensive lineman is concerned. So, but the thing is, if the Bengals had an average offensive line, I would say, you know what? Fine, you could take your chances later in the draft. But the Bengals also haven't proven that they could draft one in the first round. Why would I trust that they're going to, like, all of a sudden get it in the second and third?
Well, they can draft them. Can they develop
them? Actually, you're right. I've never criticized the guys that they've selected in the first round. I've always been critical of how they've developed them after, at least in like recent years, because they got to the playoff 5 straight years in the early 2010s. They were clicking on all cylinders then. I mean, outside of quarterback, I thought they had a perfect roster.
Those are both good guards, you know?
So I guess it's just just at this point, I'm just like, I don't know how your number one need could be offensive line, and then you sit there with Penei Sewell right there and convince me and everyone.
They need a guard, right? They need a guard. They have tackles. They just need a guard.
Where is that guard?
So that's an easy justification if you want to say they want to take Jamar Chase, because you can draft the guard in the second round.
Why not take the guard in the first to make sure he's there? What if someone else takes him? You're risking someone else every time you gamble
on their list,
you are gambling on the future of your quarterback. And like you're gambling, like you're not getting.
Another thing, Justin. Here's another thing. How else can you help a quarterback? You help him by allowing him to get rid of the ball quicker. So if he has another option like Jamar Chase, who can actually do things that AJ Green no longer can do, he can get rid of the ball a little bit quicker, and that's what guys like Phillip Rivers does. That makes their offensive line look great. They get rid of the ball so fast. And Joe Burrow, a lot of criticism on him was he holds on to the ball. Well, he's a rookie, but I mean,
Baker Mayfield didn't hold on to the ball. Nothing. Keep going. I broke my promise. I screwed up. I'm sorry. I couldn't. It was.
Let's not even go there.
Hey, we only got 15 seconds. Finish your point.
All right. Hey, man, everybody hang in there with the Reds is all I got to say. And I'll see you guys later.
They're 6-3. 6-3. I ain't even a Reds fan, but goodness, they're 6-3.
I'm not freaking out. I'm not freaking out about the Reds. I still think that the offensive tear that they were on the first 7 games of the season, I still think some of that's in there. I don't think that's who they are, but I think some of that, like, you know what I mean? Like, even let's say a guy goes off and hits 10 threes in a game. That guy may never hit 10 threes in a game, Kev, but that dude could hit threes.
Bang, bang.
Right? So when it comes to the Reds, they're not going to average 10 runs a game, but they can score runs. They're going to score runs, and they're going to keep scoring runs. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not concerned about the runs, even though they hit 212 last year and could not produce runs. I'm terrified about the pitching. The starting pitching is a disaster. It's going to get worse. Like, that's where I'm hesitant on. Everyone kept making a big deal, saying, "Oh, you're overreacting to all the runs the Reds are scoring." I'm not overreacting to that. The Reds will be top 10 in runs scored on the season. I'm not going to predict top, number 1, because that's the Dodgers. But I'm telling you right now, the pitching is the problem. Pitching is the big problem.
Dodgers or Braves lead the major leagues in runs this year.
I think it's going to be the Dodgers. They're the best overall team, mainly just because they get to be more aggressive offensively because of their pitching. Braves pitching's okay, but they get to take chances offensively. That's what drives me nuts about the Reds is they try their offensive approach is, we could take chances offensively because we're going to shut you down pitching-wise. You can't. They're not shutting guys. They're not going to shut teams down. Outside of Luis Castillo and Sonny Gray, and right now just Sonny Gray, Tyler Mahle is a wild card, and everyone else you're just hoping. And this goes for any sport. I say this about the Bengals all the time. If you're hoping offensive linemen are going to be there in the second and third round, that's not a plan. Hope is not a plan. You know what I mean? Like, anytime you're hoping, that's not a plan. You have to have a plan. And the Reds right now are hoping that De Leon and some of these other guys work out. Hoping is not a plan. Keith Tolliver, he says he's a Cardinals fan, and we wish that we had the Reds problems. Look, I think the Reds are going to run into problems throughout the year. I think that, I predicted them to win 85 games. They win 5 less games. They're a 500 ball club, Kevin. That's average. I mean, 80 sounds like a lot of wins, and it is. But overall, you won almost 50% of your games. That's not great. But no one win. I mean, look, I'm not expecting the Reds to win 90 to 100 games. But they average 10 a game, they could do that. But that ain't going to happen. All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kevin Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Excited for the week. We're going to have Ken Anderson on the show. We're going to talk, of course, with Anthony Munoz this week as well. We got a lot to get into with those guys. I have to be nice about the Bengals this week because I can't be,
you sure you can?
By the way, I have no problem admitting I'm going to kiss some major ass when they come on the out. Oh, man, Ken Anderson, the Bengals are awesome. Who day? Who. I mean, I'm going to be all about it. People are gonna be so angry at me. Like, oh yeah, you're pretending to like them. Well, I'm not gonna disrespect. I like them. They're why I like the Bengals to begin with. It's the morons now that why I don't like them, but I like them. So there we go. So I do plan on being fake when they come on. I have no problem admitting it. See, I hate people who are fake and pretend they're not being fake. I'm admitting. I'm gonna. Oh, Anthony, I love you. I love the Bengals. We have that Bengals jersey in here that no one came and picked up. I'm gonna wear it that day we're interviewing him. They're gonna think, this Kinner guy, he likes the Bengals. And then whenever I hang up, I'm gonna rip it off like Hulk Hogan, baby. I'll be like, okay, I'm so glad that's done. No, I love talking to them, but no, I'm just saying, I'm not gonna disrespect them.
Brother.
You have Anthony Munoz, a Hall of Famer. Ken Anderson should be a Hall of Famer. You can disrespect them. I ain't stupid. But anyways, we'll step away for a few moments. Jay Morrison had a lot of great things to say regarding the build up to the announcement of the Ring of Honor for the Cincinnati Bengals, as well as he's going to share his thoughts. He believes the Bengals should select Jamar Chase. Jay Morrison covers the Bengals for The Athletic. When we talked about it, he said the Bengals, it's actually that Kyle Pitts is not even considered anymore. That right now for the Bengals, it's Penei Sewell against Jamar Chase of who they want to take. It's not even like Pitts isn't even a part of the conversation, which I could be critical of that whole point of view, not his, but the Bengals' point of view. If that's the case, I could be critical of that all on my own. Like, hey, if you want to be tempted to not take an offensive lineman, it needs to be for a generational talent, not Jamar Chase, but that's for later. But good stuff from Jay Morrison. We have that coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with isolated showers, a high near 64. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy, a low around 43. And tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy, a high near 68. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
I'm Terry Krupp of Laird's Tax and Accounting. We are excited to announce we are open and here to help with your tax preparation needs. We offer multiple options, both convenient and safe. You can drop off your tax return, upload it to our secure website, or call for an appointment. We have 5 locations in the Miami Valley and 1 in Columbus to serve you. No matter the situation, we're confident we can do the job right. Visit Laird'sTax.com or call 937-325-6571. Laird's Tax and Accounting, here for you to ensure continued confidence in your tax return.
The big building supply and home improvement auction is at the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio this Thursday, and it's all online bidding. Go to pbauctions.com and register to bid on kitchen cabinets, flooring, doors, decking, siding, tools, hardware, and more. It's all going to be sold in our online auction ending Thursday at 4 p.m. Go to pbauctions.com to register and get preview times. So we'll see you this Thursday at 4 p.m. online at pbauctions.com for the big building supply auction.
Step up your career with an MBA from Ohio Dominican University. At Ohio Dominican, you can earn your MBA 100% online in just 16 months. With 7 high-demand concentrations, including data analytics, risk management, and now healthcare administration, an MBA from Ohio Dominican fits your professional goals. It's also one of the most affordable programs in the region. Classes start soon. Get started at ohiodominican.edu/MBA.
Celebrate Jewish culture and community. Don't miss a Taste of Jewish Cultural Festival at Temple Israel on Friday, April 16th. During this special drive-through event, pick up food for the family with everything from traditional baked goods to food truck favorites. Enjoy children's activities, crafts, and the joy and inclusiveness of the Temple Israel family. A Taste of Jewish Cultural Festival, April 16th from 4 to 7 p.m. at Temple Israel on Riverside Drive. The first of 3 special drive-through community events. To learn more, visit tidayton.org.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsommers.com. That's Sommers with an O, kirklandandsommers.com.
To all you do-it-yourselfers, get ready to welcome Fram into the fam. Because America's #1 oil filter brand now has their own new line of motor oil and fluids. And it's only at Advance and CarQuest Auto Parts. Stop into Advance and choose from 4 new Fram oil change bundles starting at just $20.99. They have the oil and filters you need to keep your engine running stronger, longer. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
How clean is your nose? Most airborne germs and allergens invade through the nose, your body's air filter, its first line of defense. You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? Did you know there's an easy way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself? It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to clean your nose by flushing out pollen, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and it comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. And 50,000 independent online reviews averaging 4.7 stars show just how much people love their Navage. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now you can clean your nose and help protect your health with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage. Navage. Make good nasal hygiene your new normal with Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Express Employment Professionals matches people with the right skills with the right jobs. To find your next job, visit expresspros.com and find the location near you.
The Reds are on the radio. Every hit, every strikeout, every Reds victory. You can catch all of the action all season long right here on Dayton's home of the Reds, 1410 ESPN Radio. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, we are back. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash with you here live on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area, with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. We'll get to the Jay Morrison conversation coming up here in just a moment, talking about your Cincinnati Bengals, the Ring of Honor, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Jay Morrison believes that the Bengals should not select Penei Sewell and that they should not select Kyle Pitts. We'll discuss that coming up here in a moment. How about this news? The Patriots have terminated the contract of wide receiver Julian Edelman.
Failed a physical.
So I don't know what that means as far as again, the Patriots, we talked about it. There are a lot of big names available in free agency still. Free agency, they hit the ground running. It was hot and heavy at the beginning. It was all that everyone was talking about. And then it just kind of fizzled out. Mm-hmm. And a lot of really big names there. Antonio Brown is still a big name there. We've seen Antonio Brown sign with the Patriots in the past, although I don't think it was about Antonio Brown signing with the Patriots as much as it was Antonio Brown signing with Tom Brady. Right. I think Antonio Brown is being very patient. Antonio Brown is 33 years old. He's old. I thought he was younger. I had no idea, Kev, that he was 33 years old. I thought he was like 28, 29.
Yeah,
I forgot he was in the league as long as he's been.
Yeah, he was in the second year when the Steelers played Green Bay in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he was in the second year.
But 33 years old is Antonio Brown. And I think that he's trying to. I think he realizes, okay, my stock's higher than it's ever going to be moving forward. Yes, I've had my off the field issues, but I led he was third in receptions for the Buccaneers last year. Third in receptions with all that talent they had on that roster. And he was third, and he only played 8 games in the regular season because he was suspended the first half. So he was third in total receptions on the Buccaneers. And he only played the back half of the season. And then, of course, he had his best game as a Buccaneer in the Super Bowl. His stock is high. You know what I mean? Like he was able to show that, hey, I'm not going to be a distraction, even though his past will still be a distraction. As I don't even think the NFL has come down. Has he actually been?
Yeah, it was suspended.
So he had the 8-game suspension, but everything closed? Are all those cases closed?
I have no idea.
So you don't have to look that up. I just didn't know if you know.
With the NFL, it is, I believe.
Unless more stuff comes from some of those investigations, I would assume. But I think he could sign somewhere. I don't think he'll go back to the Patriots unless he's really close with Cam Newton. But who's to say that Cam Newton's going to be the starter now? Because now all the rumblings are the Patriots are looking to move up to take a quarterback in this year's draft, and who's to say Belichick starts a rookie? But interesting nonetheless. But yeah, Edelman coming to a Buccaneers roster near near you.
Facts.
Other rumblings today, Jadeveon Clowney and the Browns. Jadeveon Clowney heading back to Cleveland, and we're like Dan Orsini and others with ESPN say, hey, they're working out the details now. He is going to be a Cleveland Brown here very soon. And I've said this before. Jadeveon Clowney, here's one reason why I've kind of changed my tune on him a bit. He's only 28.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're talking, he's not 33 like we just talked about with Antonio Brown. Like we talked about Jadeveon Clowney. Oh, he's washed up. He's 28 years old. He did not have a good year with the Titans, Kev, but he was their best pass rusher. So teams got to throw double teams at him. Teams got to go at him heavy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what they're not going to be able to do when he's in Cleveland? That. Because he's not their best pass rusher. In fact, Jadeveon Clowney is going to go up against a lot of there's not going to be a lot of double teams, if any, thrown his way because everyone's focused on Myles Garrett. So if the Browns get this done, I'm a big fan of it, depending on the price.
Right.
If they spend between 10 to 13 mil, I'm fine. I think it needs to be heavily incentivized, like incentive-based. But remember, he turned down Cleveland last year. He wanted 18 mil, and the Titans were dumb enough to give it to him. I just hope that the Browns don't go that route. He is not 18 mil. And someone today on the page said that, if it's for a 1-year deal, I guess I could swallow that money for a 1-year deal. But, look, the Browns are going all in. The Browns are going all in at this point. But I don't know if Jadeveon Clowney, if I look at him as the all-in guy. Like, you know what I mean? But he's the number one free agent remaining. And I just went and looked during the break, of ranking all the free agents remaining. He's the number one free agent remaining. And Antonio Brown's number 2. And I don't think Antonio Brown's much of an impact player anymore, so that doesn't really mean a whole lot that he's the number one free agent remaining. So when it comes to Clowney, your thoughts on Jadeveon Clowney, you being a Steelers fan, knowing that Big Ben would have to face Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney? I know you not fear, but Myles Garrett's a real dude. Jadeveon Clowney with Cleveland, I really like. He's not going to get the.
Ain't worried about him.
Good, I can't wait for him to bust Ben's ass. Then I
ain't worried about him. The guys that I worry about on the Browns are the offensive line and the running backs and Myles Garrett. Those are the guys to worry about. I ain't worried about a guy that can't stay healthy. Like he's never healthy. And, that's no fault of his own from all accounts. I mean, look at him. He's built like a Greek god, but he is always hurt. He got hurt when he was with Tennessee. No, he got hurt when he was with Tennessee, hurt with the Seahawks, hurt with the Texans. And let's be clear, everybody in the NFL gets hurt. He gets injured. So let me say that he gets injured where he's out an extended period of time. I believe he only played 3 games for the Titans last year.
He played 8.
Okay.
He played with he played 8, started 8, and you're right, he couldn't stay healthy. So,
and when you're paying somebody that type of money and at that position to be a pass rusher, you're expecting at least 7+ sacks. I can't remember, but I really only remember 2 seasons where he had double-digit sacks. I believe it was his second year with the Texans, and I want to say his first year with the Seahawks. I mean, there's a reason why these teams are letting him go. Like the Texans let him walk, the Seahawks let him walk. Like it's a reason why, and it ain't because he's not a good football player. It's because he's not on the field. If he's on the field enough, he can make an impact. But he's not on the field. He hasn't shown the ability to stay on the field consistently enough. So I wouldn't be worried about it if I'm the Steelers or if I'm the Bengals or if I'm the Ravens, because chances are he's gonna get injured.
But I never do the injury concern. I'm concerned of paying him for the injury. Once he's a Brown, at that point, nothing you could do about it. So to me, it's okay. What can he do for me when he's on the field? And what he has not been able to do the last 2 seasons is generate a lot of pass rushes. Okay, he had 0 sacks in 2020 in the 8 games that he played. He was playing a lot of linebacker though. He wasn't up front. Doesn't matter. They were using him as a pass rusher, but the Titans' defense was atrocious, and he didn't help any. He's not an impact guy. He's not the number. He should not be your number 1 pass rusher. But I do believe that he's going to complement. And every team he's been with, he's been brought in to be that. He's been brought in to be that guy, to be the number 1 pass rusher. He never thrived in that role when he was with Houston, Kev. When he went to Seattle, he thrived again there because he didn't have to be the guy. So I think that's why he's going to thrive in Cleveland if they're able to get that done. Is he the best option that they could have got as a pass rusher? No, but I think that it's still an upgrade. I still think when he's on the field, it's an upgrade. But like you said, you got to be concerned when he's not there. But I do believe when you look at the fact of the Cleveland Browns and you look at what they added this offseason, they went out and they got Tack and they got some of those guys too. Like Tack has a big upside. And I think that's why they got him for $3 million. They got him pretty cheap. Now he might end up being more of an impact guy than Jadeveon Clowney, but I still think that Jadeveon Clowney is going to be a big time impact player for the Browns, playing alongside or opposite side of Myles Garrett for that very reason, because you can't worry about him. You can't. And the second you fall asleep on him because you're so stressed about Myles Garrett, that's where Jadeveon, I think, is going to come in and hurt you. That's why I'm a big fan of the Browns going out and trying to get him again. But the bottom line is it's just all about what you pay him. Because if you're paying him to be the equivalent of Myles Garrett on the opposite side, then you're highly mistaken, because he's not going to be that. But I think he'll thrive in that role, obviously, with all the defensive attention being given to him.
If I'm the Browns, I'm making a play for Jalen Phillips in the draft. I'm going to go get me a young stud out of the college ranks who's hungry, who hasn't been paid yet, who has a ton to prove. And it's just basically, you're definitely going to get one-on-one if you're out there having Myles Garrett on the other side. I'm going to use somebody that's going to be straight using their athleticism the whole game to get after the quarterback. I will go with the rookie over Jadeveon Clowney and spend my money elsewhere like linebacker.
All right. Eric Pugh on Facebook says he could be any offensive lineman on any given play, but he takes a lot of plays off. That's the only knock in college effort. And that's probably why he never became what he was supposed to be, that and always being injured. Nolan Russell, Kev, he says, Benny the Fat, your guy, your quarterback. He said Benny the Fat spilled his Tahitian treat when the Browns signed Clowney. That's what.
You ain't worried about him, man. Ain't nobody worried about that dude, man. Only dude worried about him is the running back from Michigan who he took off 10 years ago.
And then Eric Pugh said that work ethic is a big thing, probably why he is always hurt. Like I said, the thing is
that I don't know. I mean, he is 6'6", like 275 pounds. Like, he's a big man, and getting chopped at the knees and all this stuff. Football is a tough game. I'm not going to call him soft. I'm going to just say, hey, man, you always injured, and I don't know if we can pay you that type of money because you're always injured.
Yeah, and again, you look at the Browns secondary, they got Troy Hill, they got John Johnson at safety, and of course you look at between Troy Hill, Greedy Williams, Grant Delpit. You look at Denzel Ward, they're deep in secondary. I love their secondary, Ronnie Harrison Jr. as well. I love what they have there. Linebacker, they need to upgrade, and that's the thing too. I think the reason they're going for him right now mainly is because Takk McKinley can play defensive end and linebacker. Mm-hmm. That's also, I think what they're looking for is versatility amongst their defensive guys. They don't want you to just be a defensive end. They don't want you to just be a linebacker. And I think that's what they're kind of going for here, is what it looks like. When even you look at, Taki, whatever the hell his name is, Taki, he's a linebacker. But McKinley, defensive end / linebacker. You look at, if they get Clowney, defensive end / linebacker, I do think that that's what is going to be key for them too, is just the versatility, being able to. And by the way, signing Jadeveon Clowney doesn't mean they're going to go get a big name pass rusher in the draft. They're still going to effort to do that. They're linebacker and pass rusher, that's what they're going to get. And at that point, look at what the Browns have done now. They already had Greedy. They already had, obviously, Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit and they still went out and got John Johnson and Troy Hill. I love what the Browns front office is doing, and not saying, well, we got one, so we don't need to get a. Right. They have that. In fact, what they have is a problem right now of trying to figure out who in that secondary rotation is actually going to be a part. Yeah, and I think that's why this is going to be a big name, a big addition to the Browns. They're not bringing him in here to be the guy. They already have the guy. They're looking for complementary pieces around the guy, and I think that's what's going to make him such a big addition if they get it done. I do find it odd that we're going on 5:00 and they haven't got it done. Right, unless I'm missing something. I haven't seen any breaking news that the Browns have signed him, and they made it sound yesterday as if this deal was just done deal. And needed some T's crossed and some I's dotted, and that doesn't seem to be the case. So that I don't know what's going on there, but I guarantee you it could be Jadeveon still trying to play hardball. Keep in mind, the Browns offered him more money than anybody last year, and he turned it down. So there's something in Cleveland that's keeping him from going there. And by the way, for everyone out there saying, oh, it's Cleveland, no one wants to go play in Cleveland, Troy Hill took less money to come play in Cleveland. All right, they're one of their biggest free agent acquisitions. People are taking less money to come play in Cleveland because they want to come play with the winner. Well, guys like Galladay were trying to use the Bengals to get every dollar possible, because if he was going to live in that crap city, he wanted to be paid.
Dang, where did all that come from? Jeez.
So there's that. So he won't be in Cleveland until tomorrow. I thought Diana Rossini said yesterday he was heading to Cleveland today. So there's that. Oh, well. What'd I say that was wrong. It's true. The Bengals fans going to take shots at the Browns. I'm going to give it right back to them.
I'm just saying I didn't see that.
What?
Well, I'm not on Facebook or Twitter, so.
What? Which part?
About them attacking the Browns.
Oh, no. You just got to read. No, I mean, you know how to read. I'm not saying you don't know how to read. I'm just saying, like, Oh, so I wasn't wrong. Okay, thank you, Dennis. Okay, I was like, oh, great. Another detail Kinner missed. But she has updated her first report, so he wasn't supposed to be in here in Cleveland today. Going to be there soon. So, Oh, Matthew Gaines says there was a travel issue and won't be here till tomorrow. Oh, travel issue. He don't want to play Cleveland. Let's just be clear. And to be honest, Jadeveon, when he bailed on Cleveland last year, he did them a favor. Maybe he's doing them a favor again, but keep in mind, I hope they do not open up the vault to pay him. I have no problem him being a Cleveland Brown. No problem him being a Cleveland Brown, but they better not open up the vault to keep him in there. The Browns need to do what they've been doing and just you got a new GM. And Andrew Berry, who's been kicking ass, new head coach. Like that's the other thing too. With all the smack I talked about the Browns, they won all them games last year with a rookie head coach and a rookie GM, and the fact that it's the Browns and Baker Mayfield, who was coming off that horrible year. There was no reason for them to succeed last year, and they did. The mojo has totally changed in Cleveland. It's not like down south where you got Galladay say, you got to pay me to come play in Cleveland. Then you look at what the Browns are doing. You got Troy Hill saying, I'll take less money to come play here. I'll take less money to come play in Cleveland. Believe land, baby. Houday. They're the team in fourth place.
I thought you said you were about to be nice to the Bengals. Don't you got some Bengals guests coming on? They pissed me off in the comment section. I'll be nice to them. I'm just saying, man. You got a Hall of Famer coming on. And a quarterback that brought them to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
And I'm going to say,
both bigger
where have they all been since you guys? I'll respect them. I love them. And I want the Bengals to be good. I've been saying that.
You seeing Anthony Muso's hands?
Yes. When I met him at NCR, we did the show with him at NCR. And there's a reason he sat at the opposite end of the table. Give me a head start if I said anything I felt like I needed to run for. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Hoffman Turf wants to enhance your property. Hoffman Turf, a locally owned company in Beaver Creek, offers professional lawn care, landscape maintenance, and weed and pest control. We understand your lawn is your investment and strive to give you the most value for your hard-earned money. Let us help you achieve a beautiful, thick, green lawn. Sign up today for fertilization and weed control and save 50% off the first application and 5% off the entire season when you prepay. Schedule today online at hoffmanturf.com. Hoffman Turf, professional, dependable, affordable.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek, a leader in the industry, is now hiring experienced sales associates. If you have a strong work ethic, a can-do attitude, and a desire to lead by example while achieving unlimited earning potential, see me, Sales Manager Jason High. This position offers top pay, a 40-hour work week, full benefits including health care, 401k match, and paid training. Apply within today on Route 35 in Beaver Creek or online at GermainHondaBeaverCreek.com. Germain Honda Beaver Creek is an equal opportunity employer.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
At Napa, we keep things moving. If it has wheels and an engine, we help keep it on the road. And if it's on the road, we have parts for it. And if you need a part, you can get it fast, like same-day pickup or next-day delivery fast. At Napa, when we're not thinking about cars, we're thinking about the people who drive them. Because when it comes to serving you and our community, our motor never quits. That's Napa know-how. Same-day pickup and next-day delivery available at participating stores and on in-stock items only.
O'Reilly. Syntec is back and better than ever at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec is a premium full synthetic motor oil option at an affordable price. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec full synthetic and a Wix filter for just $29.99. Syntec is formulated for today's engines to minimize friction, heat, and wear. Try Syntec today exclusively at
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Connect with your favorite radio shows through contests, social media, and podcasts. Create custom alarms with your favorite radio stations, all free with the radio.com app.
Keep tools, lawn equipment, and more protected with Suncast storage sheds from Menards. All 11% off. The Tremont 8x10 storage shed features blow-molded resin construction and steel-reinforced double walls for years of durability. All Suncast storage sheds are now 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through April 17th. Savings are mail-in rebates. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
At CVS, you could earn up to $50 in extra bucks each year just for filling prescriptions. Terms and conditions apply. Not available in all states. See cvs.com/RX rewards or pharmacy for details.
You want more local content from Dayton's ESPN radio station 1410 Wing AM? Make sure you subscribe to the WING 1410 Dayton YouTube channel, where you can watch all your local shows live or go back and rewatch previous episodes of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, the Keith Byers Show, Talking Out Loud with Sully, and more. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Oh, that was posted today.
Oops. Luckily, that's all that came out of your mouth to start. I mean, that could have been bad.
Oh.
Ron Howard's been drinking today.
What's up? Party on a Monday.
Would you rather swim in Lake Erie or the Gulf?
Ugh.
That's random, Ron, but thank you for taking advantage of the open chat section at the bottom, which anyone can do. You can message into the show, and we'll take advantage there. Dennis on Facebook says, if the Browns sign Clowney, I think you meant Clowney, their starting D-line will be Garrett, Clowney, Richardson, and Malik Jackson. Again, when you have your anchor being Myles Garrett, that's a hell of a pass rush, D-line right there. But Kev, you're right. I mean, it's one thing to be excited about what you could do when you're on the field, but it's another thing to, are you on the field? Yeah. When do you plan on being on the field? It's kind of like Kyrie in the NBA. It's like, well, we know what you can do when you're on the court, but the problem is we never know after 3 straight good games, are you going to need one of them off days that you always just seem to do? And again, how about that Kyrie taking more personal days now? I mean, he has more personal days than the people that work in this building that I'm always there's people we work with. I'm like, how the hell do you get on them personal days? Like Kyrie Irving, I think he worked out a deal with our boss for the NBA of how many off days you can get in this building. It's pretty impressive, to be honest with you.
Shouts out to Kyrie and his agent.
Well, last week we talked about the NBA a little bit, saying, no one wants to play. You could tell the playoffs are coming up because now Kevin Durant's all magically healed enough, ready to go back out, and he's gearing up, though. But, they're not dumb. I don't like it, but they're not dumb. They know what they're doing. They're not going to play meaningless games in January, February. Hey, the Nets are in first place. Kevin Durant's like, I don't need to be out there. Well,
he is coming off a major injury, though.
Yeah, but the reports are, too, that he's been healed and ready to go to come back for weeks, and he's waiting till now to come back before. That's the problem is, if we're going to sit here and say, well, we just need to get an average team put together so that our stars don't have to play as many games during the regular season, then we'll bring them back because seeding just doesn't matter at that point as long as you're not having to play the play-in games. And then the same thing, you look at Anthony Davis. I'm going to rip the team I actually like in the Lakers, too. Talks are he's been capable of being able to be back in the coming weeks. Bless you. issue. Being able to come back in the last couple of weeks, and he's now all of a sudden there's reports he could be back in the next 10 days. LeBron's coming. You could tell everyone's gearing up. Playoffs coming up around the corner, so which is fine. I mean, look, I look forward to the playoffs, but the regular season's becoming a joke at this point. There's just no urgency. They're treating them like preseason games. Like, the 2 weeks before playoffs start. Okay, well, I'll come. I'm only gonna play 20 minutes a game. Kyrie's taking personal days. James Harden, he's out. He's out with an injury. But no, nonetheless. With that being said, I hope these guys are healthy. I hope they all get on the floor. I hope Kyrie don't take no damn personal days during the playoffs. I want Lakers and Nets in the finals. I want LeBron and Anthony Davis, and how about McLemore? By the way, I mean, he went off over the. And how? By the way, you're the Nets. You had Kevin Durant. Mm-hmm. You had your guys. You had Kyrie, and you get blown out by the Lakers, who don't have LeBron or Kyrie or LeBron. No Kyrie Irving. Yeah, I'm right there. They don't have LeBron. They don't have Anthony Davis. You get KD, but you don't get blown out. Why? How do you get blown out against the Lakers too? And you know what I'm also noticing in the NBA that drives me nuts? When the two powerhouse teams meet up, it's supposed to be like you circle it on your calendar heading into the year. Have you ever noticed star players take those games off?
Mind games.
It's crap. It's crap. I do not like it. I hate it. I'm not saying that there's not valid injuries, but like that's where we're at the point now where I don't trust what a real injury versus fake one is. And that's on the players.
There's got to be Paul George running into the stanchion and his leg protruding.
I need to see a bone sticking out. I need to see a gurney. Okay, that's what kind of injury it needs to be. None of this walking off on his own accord and then out for the next 2 months. Like none of that. Well, even though Kobe did shoot a free throw with the torn Achilles, and then he was out for the year, but nonetheless, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like I'm at the point now where I don't even trust the real injury reports because I think teams are kind of. They're messing with those.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. It's
wrong.
Bad. It's especially bad for the fans because especially right now, you're starting to gear up and do those Saturday night games and those Sunday afternoon games and everything like that. They're billed as these big time blockbuster games that you want to be tuned in for, and then you go to church or whatever you do, run your errands, you do your honey-do list on a Sunday, and then you plop down in front of your TV at 3:00 to see the Lakers and the Clippers and no Kawhi, no LeBron, no AD, and this, Paul George out there with me and you playing basketball. Nobody wants to watch me and you play basketball. They want to see the superstars of the league play in a pivotal matchup in the regular season and jockeying for position. And I think now, especially this year, where there's very limited fans, that jockeying for position in playoffs isn't there. Like if teams were really truly jockeying for position where fans were in the building and, home court advantage really truly meant something, I think you would have more guys playing. I think you would see something different. Hopefully, once the vaccine continues to roll out, when, we get back to some type of normalcy with sports and fans being in the building, hopefully that won't be happening next season. Hopefully on the back end of the regular season for the NBA, we'll get those matchups that we want again and teams actually trying to win so they can, get that first round situation at home and everything like that.
Well, last night I watched WrestleMania. And there was something I noticed last night and Saturday about watching WrestleMania that made me think of the NBA that could be one factor that we're seeing guys just not as mentally checked into the season. And if this is the case, I can actually understand, even though it's tough, I'll understand. When we come back, I'm going to say, I just figured this out about the NBA last night watching WrestleMania. I'm going to tell you what the thing is I figured out coming back. And it's even from a fan's perspective. As a fan, we've all complained about it too. I'll tell you what it is next.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Spending more time at home? There has never been a better time to invest in your home. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. Can't get to the big game? No problem. Audio Etc. can bring any game home. It's better than being there. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc. today and experience 8K TVs and projectors. Surround sound? You haven't heard surround sound till you hear Dolby Atmos 360 degrees. Put you smack dab in the middle with 11.2 channel surround surround sound. Audio Etc. has the brands, the deals, and the excitement. Audio Etc. powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. Stop by and experience the crazy cool showroom, the top brands, excellent service, and knowledgeable staff. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
What do you get when you talk to a Dell Technologies advisor? You get someone who understands there's an art to listening, who's able to hear more than what's being said, and can provide tailored small business solutions that make you feel truly heard.
I understand. Let's get started.
For advice on everything from laptops to the cloud and solutions powered by Intel vPro platform, call an advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL.
Making popcorn for movie night?
Whoa, who are you?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless. What if every time you tried a new streaming service, you had to buy a new TV?
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, some wireless companies do that when you switch, make you buy a new phone.
Right.
But TracFone Wireless lets you keep your phone and your number and your network, and gives you unlimited talk and text starting at $20 a month.
Seriously, who are you?
This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. Oh, you're burning it.
Oh, no.
See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
At CVS, you could earn up to $50 in extra bucks each year just for filling prescriptions. Terms and conditions apply. Not available in all states. See cvs.com/RX Rewards or pharmacy for details.
It's time to swing for the fences. Want to win $1,000? Be listening weekdays once an hour starting at 6 a.m. for the winning word and enter it at wingam.com. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle. WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN radio. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
All right, hour number 3, we are off and rolling. We actually started the third hour on time. That way my boss, Mr. Mike Edwards, doesn't get all, gets all whiny. Ooh, you never hit the brakes on time. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing.
Good thing he doesn't listen to the show.
No, Mike Edwards does not listen to the show. Anyways, I may not have a show at this point. Told me he's being whiny today. Ratings came out. They were pretty good. I was excited.
How about that?
Then he came in to find a couple things he didn't like. And I'm like, are you serious?
Got to keep you in your place, man.
Like, it could be a beautiful sunny day out. And he's mad because there's a puddle in the parking lot, which they do need to do something about that puddle in the parking lot. I almost stepped in it today. I got these new shoes. I would have been furious.
You almost stepped in something else out there. Them geese out there.
I don't mess with the geese. They're almost taller than me. Anything that's taller than me, I don't talk smack to. I learned that in 5th grade. And that's why I still don't talk smack to 5th graders, because they're still taller than me. I'm just it's like, real quick, get into our NBA stuff in a moment. But I don't know how significant this is or not, but Thad Moss has been claimed by the Cincinnati Bengals. And, on, Pro Football Focus, they're sharing the videos of, kind of Joe Burrow and Moss connecting it at, LSU. Of course, Joe Burrow, when he threw for as many yards and touchdowns as he did in college, he was bounded. I mean, if I had an LSU jersey, I would have probably caught a pass or two from Joe Burrow. I mean, Joe Burrow knows what the hell he's doing at LSU, right? But I don't know. This could turn into something pretty cool. I mean, I would love to see Randy Moss's son develop, and how cool would that be if it happened in Cincinnati right there? But they have maybe that's the LSU receiver he needs. They give him the LSU wide receiver that crybaby Joe Burrow wanted so bad. Oh, I need my receiver. You have 2, but fine, you'll get 3. Here, you wanted your LSU wide receiver. Here you go, Kev. He got it.
I'm not even touching that one, man. Happy to see Randy Moss get on with another team. Was on the practice
squad. You got to pick it. You got to
football team.
You just, I'm so happy, by golly. Come on, Kev, bring it. Bring the heat.
Look, man, you bringing enough heat for both of us, because we got some Hall of Famers coming on later this week. And when they attack you, I'm just going to sit here and watch.
Me. They both know, Ken Anderson and Anthony Munoz know that I'm critical of the Bengals, especially when it comes to that offensive line. And hey, look, Anthony Munoz, he's the one that even said himself the Bengals need to get an offensive lineman in the first round, Penei Sewell, with that number 5 pick. I'm just saying. But I do like this signing. It's a high risk, it's no risk, high reward type of deal.
Absolutely. I mean, he got cut already, and they're not like they're going to be paying him a boatload of money. You give them a shot, give them a trial with the team. If it works, great. If it doesn't, they move on to the next.
So pretty good. I like that storyline there. I'll be keeping an eye on that too. Preseason months away, but pretty excited about that. But again, they just put it out on their Twitter account just about 10 minutes ago. It says we've acquired tight end Thaddeus Moss on waivers from Washington. So obviously not the receiver that they need, but that takes Pitts off the board, right? Because you got Thaddeus Moss. You got a guy that got caught from Washington. So now you don't need Moss. Because you got to get, I'm just saying. It is what it is. All right. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here. So we were talking about how, LeBron's coming back. He tweets out over the weekend he's going to be back here in the near future. Kevin Durant's back. He's on a minutes restriction. The Lakers kicked the Nets' ass without Anthony Davis and without LeBron James over, just late last week. And I'm like, how do you lose to the Lakers when you have Kyrie Irving, when you have Kevin Durant, and you're in first place with missing most of your starters for most of the season anyways, and then you face a depleted Lakers team? I'm just tired of every time that there is like a big-time regular season matchup, one of the two teams always holds out their star players. Like we see Clippers and Lakers do this all the time. Every time they go to play one another, one of their stars. Now, the Lakers stars are legitimately hurt. Kevin Durant, I was being critical of that, but that one you do have to handle with care. But at what point are you just saving him for the playoffs versus actually protecting him? And I have a problem with that. You could just as easily get hurt in April as you can the first round of the playoffs. But, I guess they feel better if you get hurt in the playoffs. At least you got him there. I don't know. But the one thing I've noticed is just a lack of motivation from players from March 11th of last year to now. And hit the NBA music real quick.
Uh-oh.
Because the NBA is driving me nuts. They're trying to, let's look at some of the top matchups for tonight. Are the Lakers playing tonight? Yes, they are. The Lakers and the Knicks. And now Anthony Davis, LeBron James both are out. And, but let's just I'm tired of players being out who are able to come back. I think Anthony Davis could be back now. In the next 10 days. When he was initially out, they said 2 weeks, and we're 2 months later. So the guy either can't walk or they're just resting him because he's injury prone. And I think that's weak of the Lakers too. You were signed to play 82 games in the regular season. I know it's 72 this year, but you play. Imagine, they sell the Lakers and the Knicks, LeBron returning to the Garden. Now, tune into the Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks as the no-star Lakers show up. But imagine what could be as LeBron James enters Madison Square Garden to sit the bench. The Lakers also have Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis will walk into Madison Square Garden, but will need help walking back out to his car. Lakers, Knicks, tonight. Tune in as no one's heard any of the star players. It's the NBA, the regular season, where it means absolutely nothing.
Well, Anthony Davis.
That doesn't get you motivated to watch. I don't know what to tell you.
Anthony Davis has been a guy that's been injured his entire NBA career. And this is why he signed that big contract in offseason. Yeah. That's why he didn't, quote unquote, bet on himself. Because he said it even in an interview. I saw him with Michael Wilbon. He's like, I've had injury problems in my past. I want to lock something up for my future. And I feel like I can play here a long time. And Anthony Davis getting hurt is not.
When you only have to play 3 months, I bet you he could play a long time, Kev. I'm just saying. I agree with you, but good for
But you're skeptical of whenever somebody gets hurt now.
Is it right? No, but I do. I have a hard time believing that. When you have role players that get hurt and they say they'll be back in 2 weeks, the role players are back in 2 weeks. But every time a star gets hurt, they're always out months longer than what they're supposed to be out for. Now, again, they could be like Durant. I get how serious of an injury that is, but I have a hard time respecting any athlete that continues to play at a superstar level but has to rest the entire regular season just to play in the playoffs. That's cheating to get there. In the NFL, we would rip Tom Brady if the Buccaneers gave him, you get 9 games off throughout the year because we want to make sure you're ready to go for the playoffs. And then Tom Brady comes in, wins the Super Bowl because he's fresh. So when the Nets beat the Lakers in the finals this year, it's going to be because, your superstar player, he got plenty of rest. But then the Lakers counter it with the resting superstar of the road in Anthony Davis. So who knows? I don't trust it anymore. I'm not saying that these guys aren't hurt, but like you said earlier, injured, hurt. I think these guys are hurt. I don't think that they're injured. I think they're hurt and they're scared to become injured. So I think they fudge some of these injury reports, and I don't think that I think the league, their bottom line too is, yes, they want you playing during the regular season, but they're trying to find that balance of making sure these guys remain healthy enough during the regular season to even play in the finals. Injuries are part of every sport, but the NBA is hard to watch right now because it seems every year the guys are going out left and right. Injuries kill the NBA every year. I don't know what the problem is. It's not fair to criticize the players, but sometimes I do think that they're hurt and not injured. And I think that Kevin Durant's hurt right now. Davis is hurt right now. Month until the playoffs, fighting for seeding. I don't know how you just flip on I don't look at them and say, man, they're so competitive. Oh, you mean the guys that rest for 2 to 3 months during the regular season when they don't need to be? I don't respect that. I don't. I'm serious. Look at every role player that goes out. Oh, he's going to be out 2 weeks with an ankle injury. He's back in 13 days. LeBron, these others, they're going to be out for 2 weeks, 2 months later, 3 months later, 4 months later, they're back. And why? It's not a coincidence that all of a sudden LeBron and Anthony Davis are going to be back in the next 10 days and Kevin Durant's back on a minutes restriction. Oh, why is that? Oh, because the playoffs start here in a few weeks.
The NBA as a league is in the catch-22 because the casual fan, they tune in for these big time matchups. They tune in for the Clippers and the Lakers. They tune in for the Nets and Lakers and everything like that. But they also tune in for the NBA Finals. So as the NBA, as a league, they want the biggest matchup they can get in the NBA Finals. And that biggest matchup they can get in the NBA Finals is the Lakers and Nets. That's the one that they want for TV ratings. So them saying, hey, man, y'all got to play. And then just say, for instance, everything goes to hell in a handbasket and KD gets hurt again, knock on wood, and LeBron really does get hurt and Anthony Davis really does get hurt. And then you miraculously end up with, I don't know, Portland taking on Philadelphia. Like, that's not going to bring in the casual fan. That'll bring me in, but that's not going to bring in the casual fan. So I think the league is in a tough spot, and it's not just the league has to do something. It's the Players Association as well. It can't just be the NBA telling the players like, man, y'all gotta play, man, this is bad for our league. It's the other players, it's the non-superstar players that have to stand up to the superstar players and say, man, we need y'all to play for the betterment of the league, because the more y'all play, that means more revenue for the teams, means y'all get paid more because y'all the superstar players, and meaning the role players get more money too, because there's more money for the league coming in too. So I don't think the ownership is strictly on the league. It's on the Players Association too, the other guys, the role players, to stand up to the big dogs. Like, look, man, I know you LeBron James. I know you one of the greatest basketball players ever, the greatest of playing, and that's great. But you need to play more. KD, we need you to play more. Like, I know you and I go back and forth about the 90s and everything like that, but it's not just the 90s.
No, them guys are tougher. I don't even care at this point.
And the 2000 guys, like, look, man, it was like a sense of pride of a guy playing all 82. Like,
I do. LeBron has that, by the way. LeBron was playing games he shouldn't have been playing in this year at his age. And he was like, I'm not resting. You're not going to rest me. He was going at it with it became a story at ESPN. He needed a minutes restriction at his age coming off of the finals run and everything like that. And he said, absolutely, if I'm healthy enough to go, I'm going to go, and all that. No one else has that in the league right now.
It's been up and down. It's been an up and down thing with this whole play 82 games thing. Because there was a time that LeBron was doing the rest day thing, like after they lost to the Spurs in the NBA Finals, his first run with the Cavs. Like, it was like, yeah, we taking some rest days and everything like that. And then it came out of it till when he got to Miami, like him and D Wade, their goal was like to play all 82, but D Wade, he got hurt, so it was like him and Bosh doing the whole thing. But like, it's peaks and valleys, and it's up to the big dogs of the league to set the tone for everybody else. It's up to the Anthony Davises, the LeBron James, to play the entire season or play as many games as they can. Because I remember this one year, this was back when Shaq was with Orlando. My mom got us floor seats for Christmas, and it was a Shaq and Penny, and we were so hyped to see Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway.
Oh yeah,
Penny Hardaway was hurt. Shaq was hurt. We got to see Terrell Brandon. Whoop-de-doo. No offense, Terrell Brandon. We got to see you whenever we wanted because we lived in Cleveland. We were there to see Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway. So as strictly just talking like as a fan, like it sucks, man. It sucks not to see you spend all this money to go see these superstar players and see them do all the great things that they're capable of doing on a basketball court, and they don't get out there and play. You know, let's be clear, man. Not the average person can afford NBA final tickets when you feel like playing. Like, so I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think it's strictly on the league. I think it's on the Players Association to talk to each other and say, look, man, we got to have something. We got to come to a fair grounds about this, man, because for the betterment of the league, all the superstars need to play as well. And I know it's hard because you can't tell somebody their pain threshold or when they're truly hurt or when they're injured and everything like that. You can't just say, oh man, tape it up, shoot it up, rub some Robitussin on there and get out there and play basketball. But I do truly believe that the role players in the NBA, because there are more role players than there are superstar players, they need to stand up to the superstars of the NBA and demand more of them, and more of them meaning more of them get on the court and play.
Well, there's one way to fix this. Hey, you're going to get paid on how many games you play. And it'll be amazing how all of a sudden Kevin Durant's Achilles just, boom, praise Jesus, it's just magically healed. Look, and I don't think it's not the league's fault in the league, but that's the thing. When the league comes at the players and says you need to play, they push back and get all, they start their crying, their tears, and then they get hurt from words of the league telling them they need to play more. Then they're out for 3 months, and then it's unbelievable. My problem with this is it really comes down to the players. And if you're too old to play basketball, if you're too old to play this sport at that level of playing 82 games, then retire. Then stop. If you can't handle playing 82 games, which, by the way, 82, it's been this way for how many decades now? It's not new. It's not like 162 like baseball. It's 82 games. Is it a lot? Yes. And by the way, you want to sit out back-to-backs? More power to you. I get that. I think the league does need to extend the season another couple of weeks to get rid of back-to-backs. I don't think you need to be playing back-to-backs. I think that's ridiculous anyways, especially with all the travel that they do.
Definitely not traveling back-to-backs. Maybe home back-to-backs, but not traveling back-to-backs.
And I get that. But
I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to mushroom this season into this small calendar, and that's why they cut it to 82. But the back half of the schedule has been totally loaded. Like shoot, the Lakers were just on. Didn't they just play on?
They just beat the Nets 2 nights ago.
What's today?
Monday.
That was Saturday?
It was Friday or Saturday.
It was Saturday. Okay. So
but they play on average every 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but my point is this. I watched that Michael Jordan documentary. Michael Jordan wanted to punch his owner because he didn't want to let him play injured. And I do believe you got to protect athletes from themselves. Hell, in football and college, we talk about that more. You got to literally tie these guys up to keep them from getting out on the field or getting out on the court in college and the pros. But the NBA, the divas are what? I don't. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like they can't handle it. It sounds like they just Kevin Durant cannot handle playing in 82 games. Then retire, because you're not helping the sport. You're hurting the sport. You want all the glamour. You want all the Kevin Durant's going to Brooklyn. They're going to win an NBA championship. They're going to win but he's going to miss 30 to 40 to 50 games and only use the 30 games as a preseason minutes restriction time to get prepared for the playoffs. I'm just saying this. If he gets to the playoffs and is healthy from the beginning to the end, and then he's holding that trophy and he's pumping his chest, and I will not respect it, because you should be healthy. You should be in shape. You took a 3-month vacation. Hell, you were off all last year. And I get that you're hurt, but and the same goes for Anthony Davis and the Lakers. And Anthony Davis, if he's hoisting the trophy at the end, I'm going to be like, that's great, but you didn't go through the grind. What was great about Michael Jordan is he was going to compete all 82 games, and then he was going to bust your ass for every single round of the playoffs. What's great about LeBron and Kobe and those guys, they're going to play every single game. LeBron's an Iron Man. He don't miss games. He's starting to miss games later in his career, whatever that comes with it. But LeBron, he's not sitting out any longer than he has to. He wants back out on the floor. But it's just there's not enough of those. That is being fizzled out.
So a regular NBA season is 82 games. What's a cutoff, imaginary cutoff to say?
Legitimate injuries are one thing, by the way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You're legit, but I'm tired of hearing. And by the way, this is on the Nets PR team too. They kept saying Kevin Durant 2 weeks, and then kept pushing it back. That's on them, because
say out indefinitely.
Yeah, out indefinitely. That it's severe. Like, I don't know why reports come out and say it's not severe. If it's severe, it's severe. Let it be severe. But it's because it's not severe.
Do they have to put that out for like gambling reasons?
There's a lot of reasons they have to, but I thought.
I know they do it in the NFL, but I'm not sure if they have to do
There's
that.
There's like a date that you have to have the injury report submitted. And once you've submitted that, but it's easier in the NFL because you play on Sundays or you play on Thursdays. There's in the NBA, it's, we play 2 of the next 3 days and then we'll play, 3 of the next 7 days. And like, there is no way that you can have a set date. Hey, on every Wednesday, you have to have your injury report submitted. That's tough to do. Now, I brought up WrestleMania earlier. I'm watching WrestleMania last night. I'm a big wrestling fan. And I'm watching these guys come out to the ring, and I've been watching wrestling for this past year during this pandemic when there's no fans in the stands, Kev. Maybe here's the problem, too. The wrestlers that come out to the ring during the last year with no fans in the stands, they're coming out, they're putting on a show, they're faking, wrestling's fake, no one, blah, 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 get it all out. Yeah, you're original. But they're having to put on a show. They're just forcing their energy and excitement. Think about it. They're walking in an empty warehouse, pretending that there's fans there, and there's not. But then last night and Saturday night for WrestleMania, they're running to the ring. You could tell that they are just absolutely jacked to have fans in the stands, and they just look different coming to the ring. They just look different in the ring. They're feeding off of the fans, and I think that kept them like. That's why you saw different styles of matches because they're just into it more because there's fans there. I think that's the NBA's problem too right now. Basketball, more so than football or any other sport, thrives like baseball. I don't think thrives on the fans. I think I think the fans uplift them, Kev. But baseball is used to playing in empty stadiums all throughout the season. I don't think it was new to the baseball teams playing in empty stadiums, right? I think it was different. It was a little eerie, but again, they're used to playing in less than half-filled ballparks.
They play at 1:00 on Wednesdays. Most people at work.
Yeah, and so they're used to it. The NFL, they need the fans too, but I think when you're on the field and you're hitting and you're all that, like that's what's getting you. But for the NBA, you need the fans more than any other sport. And I will give them this. For them to play, I mean, they have been playing in front of sold-out crowds since they were in middle school and high school. Like, because they've been draws everywhere they go. So I think the fact that the superstars have been all of a sudden a little bit soft over the last year and a half is because I think what the adrenaline from running out onto the floor in front of fans, that adrenaline rush isn't there anymore, Kev. And I don't care about 15,000 fans in the stands. That's not doing it for you. Not in a venue that fits 25 to 30 or whatever. So I think that the motivation to come back without fans just isn't there too. I'm not saying I respect it, but I do understand that. It just, as a fan, I don't like watching basketball as much without fans in the stands. I can't imagine how they feel not wanting to play as much playing in the stands.
Fun fact, Michael Jordan played 82 games in 9 of his 15 NBA seasons. Kevin Durant has played 1. Not to say that matters, but it matters.
I will say this: the characters he pretends to be with his fake Twitter account seem tougher than Kevin Durant. I'm just throwing.
No, he's using his real one now. He's out here.
Yeah. That's true, but he's in the DMs of Michael Rappaport. By the way,
screenshots, Katie. You got to know better than that, man. Come on, man. Be smarter than that, Playboy.
All right, we'll be back in a moment more. But real quick, you're not like no fans.
Oh
there.
yeah. I'm 1,000%.
Kevin Durant's not motivated to come back out and play because he's like this season. Last year felt like let's just get through it season.
He didn't play.
Yeah. But like this year is definitely like we're still feeling the effects of the pandemic. So it's just one of those where it's like we're just trying to get through this season too. I guarantee you next season we're going to see less of these athletes missing time because I do think that the roar of the fans, when you're injured, by the way, and that adrenaline kicks in, the pain goes away. You don't feel the pain till after the game because your adrenaline's going so much because every time you hit a bucket, 20,000 people are going crazy. Sold out arenas are going crazy. For the Nets, that's a sold out. They will not play in front of if this roster's intact next year, Kev, they will not play in front of a non-sold out crowd all season. Every arena they go to will be sold out. That's how those guys play at the level that they do too. They feed off of that adrenaline. Those injuries, the pains and aches that they feel, that goes away because when that blood starts pumping and that adrenaline's pumping, they're not feeling it till after the game. You're not getting that adrenaline pumping as much in front of an awkward 8,000 fans at a game. You're just not. Nothing? Okay, we'll be back in a moment.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be mostly cloudy with isolated showers, a high near 64. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy, a low around 43. And tomorrow's going to be partly cloudy, a high near 68. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather brought to you by Cullet Seal Coating, protecting the asphalt surfaces around your home, office, or commercial property. Crack filling, asphalt sealing, and parking lot striping. Find us at culletsealcoating.com.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsummers.com. That's Summers with an O, kirklandandsummers.com.
To make sure that the air in your home is absolutely perfect, call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning. They are offering up to $1,800 in rebates or make no payments for 6 months when you finance a new Lennox system for as little as $132 a month. Call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning at 937-222-8638 today. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Ohio license number 14911.
The Big Building Supply and Home Improvement Auction is at the Allen County Fairgrounds in Lima, Ohio this Thursday, and it's all online bidding. Go to pbauctions.com and register to bid on kitchen cabinets, flooring, doors, decking, siding, tools, hardware, and more. It's all going to be sold in our online auction ending Thursday at 4 p.m. Go to pbauctions.com to register and get preview times. So we'll see you this Thursday at 4 p.m. online at pbauctions.com for the Big Building Supply auction.
Before you move in and start making a lifetime of memories, there's something you should remember: the value of working with a realtor. A realtor is more than an expert in the field who abides by a code of ethics. A realtor is your neighbor and your ally, someone who puts your agenda ahead of theirs, someone who understands your dreams and has the expertise to make them a reality. Finding the right place starts with you and a realtor, and the doors we open together. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
What's in store for your business this week at Staples?
Printing you new signs for the times.
Get back to business with custom printed signs and sales materials. Staples has hundreds of designs to choose from, or just upload your own.
And now at Staples, get 15% off signs, posters, or decals when you spend $75 or more.
Some items printed same day when ordered before 2 p.m.
Save big on custom printing at Staples.
Ends 5/29/21. Exclusions apply. Limit 1 offer per customer. See store associate or visit staples.com/signage for details.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring owner, operator, and fleet owners. Dedicated home daily round trip lanes. That's right, round trip, get paid for all miles, 100% no touch freight. Cordell is offering great pay, a discounted fuel program, and free on-site truck parking, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus per truck. Take advantage of the dedicated round trip miles, sign-on bonus, and home every day or every other day. Go online to CordellTransportation.com to apply today. Cordell Transportation. Orion, driven to succeed.
Did you know that 3 Ohioans are diagnosed with oral cancer every day? Dentists are doctors of dental surgery and can recognize life-threatening conditions and treat oral diseases before they become serious health complications. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
What can help you take advantage of today's low mortgage rates and save money? Rocket can. You could save hundreds of dollars every month by refinancing with Rocket Mortgage at today's near historic low rates. If your current rate is over 4%, with today's low rates, you could lower your payment by over $150 a month, saving thousands in interest every year. With a cash out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, you could consolidate and pay off high interest debt, tackle home improvements that could add value to your home, or even set aside cash for your child's future education. We've already helped over 1 million clients just like you reach their home financing goals this year alone. So remember this. What can give you the technology to refinance easily and save money? Rocket can. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Savings are based on quick loans, internal data. Waste and fees may apply. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS Consumer Access Federal number 330.
At CVS, you could earn up to $50 in extra bucks each year just for filling prescriptions. Terms and conditions apply. Not available in all states. See cvs.com/RX rewards or pharmacy for details.
Don't miss out on the opportunity to win $1,000. It's the Swing for the Fences $1,000 a day giveaway. Each hour starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, we'll release a winning word that you can submit at wingam.com. It's easy, it's free, and you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So what's stopping you? Take a chance and swing for the fences and participate at wingam.com. Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Look at you counting. Just trying to do some math as well. It's a little painful. See, Bengals fans don't know how to leave me alone. I moved on from the Bengals. And they're like, so smart one. Where are you putting Sewell if the Bengals draft him? As if this guy is like, there's just no room for Sewell. You have the worst offensive line in football. You mean to tell me there's no room for Sewell? You can't find room for Sewell?
One more time. What do you ask?
So smart one. Where are you putting Sewell if the Bengals draft him? As if the Bengals don't have room for him.
Oh, that's why you have training camp. You put your best 5 offensive linemen on the field. And I know you're not talking about, oh, boy, did they sign from Minnesota, right?
Reefer.
Well,
that's what they were smoking whenever they signed him.
Rife, if you don't outplay the rookie, you can kick into guard or you can come off the bench. I don't know why that's so hard to believe. Ain't like they paid him a boatload of money, and ain't like he's a Hall of Famer that you're like, sorry, man, we're gonna start the rookie over you. No, he's a free agent. And you can play guard
Reef,
or not play
for 1 year. You signed him for 1 year. Reef, and he's the right tackle, whatever. They signed him for 1 year, Kev. That's what's absolutely ridiculous. But you signed him for 1 year. I don't even know why they signed him. I sound like I know I'm being weird here because everyone's like, well, all you've been saying is that they need to sign somebody. Yeah, somebody that makes sense. So you know that Sewell is available. You know what position he plays. And you go ahead and you sign a veteran player at that position for 1 year. And the guy you signed isn't very good at, Rife isn't the best. He's just okay. He's if you think that Rife is what makes them all of a sudden legitimate, I worry for you.
He's serviceable. He's serviceable. I know.
Good team.
I know they talked about they said I'm gonna play tackle. Well, guess what? We can kick you inside the guard if we want to. And I mean, if you don't want to play guard and you don't want to play, that's fine. But the best offensive lineman should go out there in the best position to help the team win. Like you were talking about with the Cincinnati Reds, guys taking one from the team, playing out of position.
Yep.
You can say you can play tackle or whatever, but if we determine that, all right, man, the rookie is going to play left tackle and you're going to play left guard and you don't want to play, then so be it.
So And then he's a left tackle / he can play guard as well. Your left tackle right now is Jonah Williams. So I get that you're not bumping Jonah Williams. Jonah Williams might be the only real offensive lineman you have outside of your center and Trey Hopkins. And hopefully Billy Price develops. I have no clue. And hopefully Frank Pollock comes in and actually gets this group to actually, I don't know.
Price played guard at Ohio State. Kick him in the guard.
So, but you have Michael Jordan at left guard. I'd put Penei Sewell right there. But you have Reif at right tackle. You could put Penei Sewell there, and you could get rid of Reif. You should never Reif or whatever. You should have never signed him.
I mean, you don't have to get rid of him. He can be a backup because we all
you
know
don't pay him to be a backup. Like they paid him that money to be a backup.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like the thing about it is that the Kansas City Chiefs realized is that, hey man, when you down starting offensive lineman, because that's the most injured position that happens in football, offensive lineman, your backups got to be suitable.
You're gonna be rotating in and out. Yeah,
Kansas City's offensive linemen weren't suitable, and to the Browns' credit, when they had to play backups, the backups played well. So it's fine to have guys that have reps in the NFL and are veterans as backups. If he don't win the spot, he don't win the spot. He's gonna have to be the backup. This ain't the NBA.
And then you cut him. I don't even know if Reif got any guaranteed money, but then you cut him. If he's not willing to do that, you cut him. But my point is this, is if the Bengals knew they were going to be looking at an offensive lineman in the draft since the time that, well, I don't know, 5 years ago. But you knew that the best offensive tackle in the draft coming up was going to be available at 5. So you signing a veteran player to that position. Here's where I would respect the Bengals if they signed a really, really good right tackle, Kev, to a long-term deal, and they said, no, we're going with him. He's our guy moving forward. And then they don't sign Sewell for that reason. I'd say, okay, you at least got a very, very good player there long-term, because it's not just about protecting Burrow in 2021, Kev. You got to protect him long-term. Sewell trumps any other moron on this line that is no good, because Sewell is going to be there long-term. Jonah Williams will be there long-term. That needs to be your core along with Hopkins. Hopkins at center, and then you have Sewell and you have Jonah Williams. Those are your tackles, and then you have your center right there, and then you got to figure out the rest right there. But I'm telling you right now, Michael Jordan, bum. See ya. Don't care. OHIO. The fan base. You guys will cheer bums in the NFL just because he went to your college. I don't. The second that they leave Ohio State and enter the NFL, if they're no good, move on from them. Bye-bye. That's what I say. I don't even care about the rest. Michael Jordan, sorry. See ya. Good luck on the practice squad. I don't want you anywhere near my offensive line right now.
We could chalk that Ryan Day interview.
Oh, yeah. We're real tight. Actually, I don't have a problem with him. He don't have a problem with me. It's really just, UD's basketball coach and the Bengals organization. That's really where it comes down to.
What about the Reds?
David Bell does the show, because David Bell's an adult. David Bell will talk to people even if they don't agree with how you do your job. But like other coaches are like, oh, if you don't say nice things about me, I'm not going to do your radio show. That'll teach me. Like, you pushed me there. I wasn't going to go there, but I'm just saying.
I couldn't help it. That one was on me. I'm sorry.
That's the rule. Here in town, the team here in town, if I don't say good things about them, well, you're not going to get to interview us. Oh, gee. Well, darn. By golly. There goes my coach's answers that I'm going to have to waste everyone's time. How do you think you're going to be this? Well, I think we're going to be good. I think, we practiced hard. We have good quality men. We have good quality men on this. All right, Coach, you have any bad quality men? Nope. Good quality men. Coach, you're going to win this year. We believe we're going to be in position to win every game. Is there games that you're worried about? No, we just think about one game at a time, blah, blah, blah. And then everyone's like, go Flyers. Oh, my God. Did you hear that interview? He said so many great things. It's all scripted answers that are used in every single interview, and they act like by not allowing me to interview their basketball coaches, all of a sudden my show is just going to be horrible in ratings. Ratings are actually pretty good. So I'm just saying. I was fine, and I'm hungry, and I'm hangry right now. I need that Ricky Tikki Tavi, whatever's pop you were talking about earlier.
Tahitian treat.
Tahitian treat. There you go. Get me off this mic before I keep rambling, before I get in trouble. We'll be back in a moment. Mike Edwards, my boss, he's just going to strangle me here. We'll be back in a moment.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Do Do you have an old sports program, baseball, photo, ticket, or game-used equipment just collecting dust? Sports Investments wants to buy your sports memorabilia. They're also interested in old sports cards and also buying political, aviation, and entertainment items. Bring your collectibles to Sports Investments and get a fair value on the spot. If you decide to sell, they'll pay you immediately. Sports Investments is the largest buyer of memorabilia and cards in the area since 1993. Sports Investments also feature the best selection of autographed memorabilia, sports cards, and other collectible items for sale, including all your favorites like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, the Bengals, the Browns, the Big Red Machine, UC, XU, UK, NKU, UD, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State, just to name a few. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Wolter family. Call them at 513-891-5000. Email Adam at sportsinvestments.com or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from WING.
Are you looking for a quick and delicious home-style meal your entire family will love? At Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, home-style happens here with a 10-piece breast strip meal for only $19.99. Feed your family famously with 10 all-white meat breast strips cooked golden brown to perfection with 2 large sides and 5 fluffy biscuits. This home-style family meal is what cravings are made of. Get a home-style meal made easy with our 10-piece breast strip meal for only $19.99. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Attention Class A CDL drivers. Looking to be more than just a number? Yoel Transportation in Dayton is looking for drivers with at least 1.5 years experience. Yoel has open positions for no-tarp flatbed drivers and no-touch regional or local van drivers. Yoel is ELD compliant and offers 401k with match, medical, dental, vision, holiday pay,